Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Get in here, get in here. Let's talk, let's talk. Hit the like button, please, as you come in. All right. I had to be mama for a second. So your girl is running a few minutes late, but not that late. So let me greet who's in here and let's get into it. So y'all know what we got to talk about today. Kenya Moore's interview came out. Listen, if I was her, I'd have went before Lanithia. That's all I can say because I just, we'll talk about it. Courtney Rhodes had a lot to say behind the velvet rope, some of which was interesting, some of which she could have kept to herself. But we're definitely going to talk about that. Also, coming up, Kandi has some things to say about Phaedra. We got to address it. Fallon, we got to talk about Fallon. Oh, nasty Fallon, honey. We got to talk about her real quick. We got a couple of black fishers, clear people and clear adjacent people who like to put on blackness like it is, or their version of blackness like it's cosplay. Definitely, we got a little bit of a conversation for those cows. That is also coming up. So we're going to get into that as well. Yes. Let me see who's in the house. Let me greet everybody. Y'all, please keep hitting the like button. Run them up. So that way YouTube will have no other option than to put us out there in the algorithm so the rest of our folks will know that we are in here. Maybe that'll make them send up the bat signal. So y'all, please like this video. And let's get into a couple of things. Cool Gamer is here, always cool, and I'm always glad to see you. How are you this Tuesday? All right. Got my good sis in here, Sin City from NOLA. How you doing, girl? Good to see you. Catherine Bennett. Hey, girl. All right. God's anointed daughter. Good to see you. All right. SFF in the house. Still working but listening. Quiet Storm 87. How you doing? All right, Debbie Garcia, what's happening, girl? Good to see you. All right, and I'm glad one of the Debs is here. That means we can talk housewives. It's legal. The beautiful CC Miller is in the house. You driving home and listening. All right, be careful on that road, but we glad to see you. We miss you around here, girl, but we know you busy. Kia Coco Pop, happy Tuesday. All right, I hope you're doing great too. Go, Lala Chanel. That's right. Tell them, hit that like button. Happy to be happy. We happy you made it on this terrific Tuesday. Okay, Miss Thelma, how are you? It's good to see you, my sis. I love you so much. I tried to call you over the weekend. I did. I'm going to have to call you anyway because we got to catch up, girl. I love my Maryland. Y'all just don't understand. You just don't understand. Nacho Twins mama is in the house. How are you and how are those handsome boys? Y'all, she's reminding you to hit the like button, and so is the beautiful Bianca Edwards, y'all. She said hit that like button on the way in. Grab your drinks, get them shoes off. It's that time, y'all. Hey, Destiny, how are you? Trina Taylor, how you doing, girl? Everybody thumbs up this video. Thumbs up. I know that's right. Run them up. DS, how are you? Good to see you. Rochelle, hey, girl. How you doing? Miss Sparkle is here, our resident Mary Kay lady. I know that's right. Morgan's Musings, how are you? All right, you traveling home tomorrow. Well, I hope you had a wonderful trip. T Dollar, what's going on? How are you? Okay, Team Dollar, T Dollar say Team Twirl in the building. Well, can you have some things to say? We gonna report on it. Y'all know how it is around here. Everybody can get it. Everybody gonna get their coverage if you got something to say. Miss Nisi, how are you? Hey, G, darling. Magaline, hey, girl. How are you? So good to see you. There go my sis, C. Mays. Hey, darling. Taking a little break to listen and hit that like button. I know that's right. Shani up in here. How you doing? No, you ain't late, girl. We just getting started. I'm just greeting everybody before I start running my big old mouth. Hey, Vet. How are you? Miss True Kelly, how you doing? Love you bunches. Okay. Yeah, we gonna get into it. We got to, T Dollar. You know we can't leave no stone unturned. If the mess is valid, we got to do it. We cannot let it go if the mess is valid. And it's some valid mess and we got to discuss it. My baby is here, y'all. Peanut say hit the like button. Juan Moxby, bro, where you been? We missed you. How you been doing? Is Country Girl Queena up in here? Keisha Posey up in here? All right, y'all hit that like button. How you doing, Keisha? Cassie G in the house. Hey. Yes, you definitely here for the funnies. I do have an FNN special report that I got to put out in the midst of everything. Hey, Nona Perkins. Okay, before we get down into all these interviews, what's been said, who done said it, and all of that there. So y'all come on in, hit the like button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Miss True Kelly says she enjoyed King's interview, made me rewatch some episodes of season 5. RHOA was good back in the day. It definitely was, but it's not any longer. All right. I'm so glad to see everybody. Y'all, please hit the like button. Run it up, honey. We got to talk about what has been said and who has been saying the things that have been said. Juan say, I'm good. Back in school, taking up most of my time. I feel you. Your brain can't take no more, but I'm glad you came to hang with your family. Okay, because we're going to talk about them, but you ain't got to watch them. Just, you know, you can hang with us, and we will gladly fill you in on everything that's happening because you ain't missed too much. You didn't. Hey, Bitter T. Oh, we came to save your Tuesday. Here we come to save the day. Okay, we're here. So listen. First of all, let me give me some tissue because my sinuses are acting up. If I have to pause periodically and blow my nose, y'all forgive me, okay? I'm sure some of you can hear the congestion a little bit when I talk, but I'm going to do my best so that it is not overwhelming. Thumbs up this video. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, we can all do it as a group, honey. Take a friend with you. Let it be your like button buddy. Okay, so that way nobody gets lost on their way back to the chat. So now look, first of all, the FNN special report. This is just one story that we need to report right away. There were some other things that went on, but I feel like it didn't really affect us so much. So I'm not going to handle those. But what I will let you know is that the special report that I need to put out, and I'm not even going to tell y'all about the lady that got attacked by that otter. I've said before, otters are mean as hell. So, you know, if you around the water, you already know to watch your back around the otters. Okay, nobody has to tell you that. But the special report that I feel as though, Vet, hey Vet, that I feel like we got to put out before we get into the housewives, and it may sound crazy, but this is what's being reported. I saw the footage. I'm sure you can look it up. So down in Peru, now you know we had to report on Peru before because all the celebrities and rich folks heading down there. Hey, Meg Scott, heading down there to take ayahuasca and coming back, you know, demon possessed and all type of crazy. Okay. However, in the jungles of Peru, there have been some people being terrorized by some folks. Now I'm going to say some folks because I don't know who it is, that happen to be 7 feet tall. And these folks happen to appear to have gray skin. And these folks appear to be floating above the ground. There's footage of some of the happenings in these villages. It's being covered on the news down there. Our news up here is not covering it. I feel like, personally, if you ask me, I think it's the U.S. government. You know, anything dirty happening, I always assume it's them first. Dirtiest people ever. But anyway, 7 feet tall, gray skin, wearing silvery colored suits that could be body armor. The villagers were taking shots at them, you know, click, clack, pow, pow, pow. And they grabbed a 15-year-old girl. The girl was able to get away from them in all of the hullabaloo. And she ran back to report that they were taken. Now, there's something down there called pelicatas. Apparently some sort of local thing, like we have SKIN, you know who's up here that we don't say their name because it's a bad idea. But they have something similar called pelicatas. They say them things be snatching people and peeling their faces off and mutilating the bodies. And so they don't know if it's that or if it's aliens. And they're trying to say it's aliens. I don't know. I'm just saying this is what's being said. So Y'all be very careful. I doubt they were vampires. I seriously doubt that. I feel like if I'm being honest, I think the US government is probably using some of the technology they may have gotten from some, folks from not around here. And maybe they have like quiet jetpacks that allows them to hover above the ground. And I do believe that it was probably just US military. I just personally feel that way. I'm sure there's some oil or something in the ground they want to steal down there. You just got to watch them. But just so you know, that is our FNN special report. We have folks from all over the world in here. If you got family anywhere near Peru, tell them to be real careful. Okay. By the time they start reporting 7 feet tall people with gray skin floating above the ground trying to snatch teenagers, I think that we should all pay a little bit of attention to what is going on. Trina say, what in the Black Panther is going on down there? I don't know. But when I get the news and it don't sound right, your sister is going to report it. Dana Cutler, Steelers Nation, how you doing? Good to see you. Yes, very creepy, very scary. And I'm also very glad that I am up here and not down there. Bianca said, I believe what they saw. Something like this happened over here, but the military is definitely involved. Oh yeah. I definitely, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna move on to our gossip stuff. I feel like the telltale sign that they're involved is the fact that CNN ain't saying nothing. If it wasn't them, CNN would have said something, because it's all over the news down there. CNN is not reporting because they work for the government, and the government told them to just don't mention it. That's just what I believe. But just so you know, this is happening. If you hear some funny stuff in the days to come, don't be surprised. Once they started admitting, oh yeah, aliens, we've been in contact with them. I already knew they were going to start using aliens as their cover for attacking places and victimizing people who have resources that they would like to steal. So, go red, white, and blue. So anyway, on to the gossip. Now, Kandi and the Gang, her show will be coming back for a second season. I don't know who watched the first season. They said it was canceled. Now they're bringing it back. Not sure why. Bravo is backtracking. Maybe because of what's going on this season on the show. I don't know, but they're bringing the show back. Hey, Cheryl. How you doing, sis? Justin say, you love the FNN reports. Keep us informed. I'm going to do my best. I will do my best. I'm still being careful, though, because you know how they treat me. When I start reporting the news, people start reporting my channel. So, it just kind of is what it is. And the ones who don't report me try to copy me. T Dollar say the world is so crazy. How the Army resolve conflict and try to tell us to resolve conflict. Right. Because they call conflict resolution them going to steal your resources and tell you how to run where you live. That's their version of conflict resolution. Them being in control of you is how they resolve it. Shannon, you never watched the first season of Kandi show? No, me either. I find her incredibly boring. The people around her are sometimes entertaining, but I just couldn't understand what I was going to learn on that show. You know what I mean? I couldn't get into it, but she has been, they brought it back. They said it's coming back for a second season. So shout out to her. Apparently, this is going right for her. And if I'm being very fair and very honest, if Clan Kim Zolciak was allowed to keep that show Tardy for the Party season after season with nobody watching it, they can give Kandi a couple of seasons. Now, let's just be fair. Bitter T said, I know that's right. U.S. is too bored. They need more war games. They play them all over the globe year round. Y'all just don't be watching. They do it year round. Right now they trying to beat the drums of war in Africa, over in Niger, because they want to control how those people run their own country. So they're always beating the war drum. They never stop. She is, but so was Clan Kim Zolciak. And if Clan Kim Zolciak can get 5, 6, 7 seasons of Tardy for the Party when ain't nobody watching, they can give Kandi 2 or 3 seasons. Now, if Clear and Boring gets 7 seasons, Black and Boring should get 7 too. Now, I'm not promising you I'm gonna watch it, but I feel like she deserves it. You never watched Kandi? I watched Portia's. I did. I had to see what was true and what wasn't. I'm not even gonna fool you and say I didn't watch Portia. I absolutely did. and was glued to the screen too. That's right. If we gonna be fair, let's be fair. If Clan Kim Zolciak, and I'm gonna say it again, if Clear and Boring is worth 7 seasons, then Black and Boring is worth 7 seasons too. Okay? Because while Kandi may be as boring as watching paint dry at night with the lights off, all of those things may be true. But we're not going to pretend like she's the only boring person on our television screens. We're not going to do that. If clear boring people get a check, give that Black boring woman a check. Dana said that's a payment for her support over this union stuff. I mean, whatever it may be, however it may go, give it to her. Thank you, Bitter T. Give it to her. You gave it to Kim. Yeah, I ain't like Kim either. But, you know, whether I like her or not, to me, that's a moot point. I'm talking about what's fair. Fair. That's me. I only want to see what's fair. SFF say, I won't be watching Kandi and the Gang, and I didn't watch Kim's Tardy for the Party. Candy's more. Yes, she is, but she still deserves those seasons, and I feel as though the check should be written. It's the same thing I said when it came to Robert Dixon on Potomac. Robert hid part of Shim's life and then told it on Patreon behind a paywall, and that was perfectly okay with the network. Meanwhile, they fired Kenya Moore for hiding part of her life. And I still maintain, even when it comes to that, if that clear adjacent woman can do it and not be fired, then they need to give Kenya Moore back pay for the entire season pay that she missed for doing the exact same thing. And actually what Robert Dixon did was worse, because she then told it to fans behind a paywall and monetized what she was already contracted to show. Kenya did not do any of those things. She was fired and she has not been compensated. So that's all I'm saying. Fair is fair is fair. Fair is fair is fair. Hey, Charlene Edwards. Right, I'm not gonna watch it, but she has every right to have it. That's all I'm saying. Whether I'm gonna watch it or not is neither here nor there. I'm not gonna watch it. Kandi bores me to tears. I'm simply stating the facts, which is it is fair. Okay? And I think that Black people, we have to start being more vocal about fairness to other Black people, whether we like them or like their persona or not. Whether I like Kandi's persona, whether I'm entertained by her, is to me a moot point. It is completely irrelevant and non-consequential. The bottom line is they gave that clear woman a show for 7 seasons and wrote her a check for 7 seasons, and nobody was freaking watching. So give Kandi the same check, the same opportunity, and the same levity. Miss Thelma said, I always thought Kim was trashy. That's probably because Kim was always trashy, Miss Thelma. Vet says, agreed. That's what I thought when I heard it was coming back. Kim's went on for years. Exactly. Now, I ain't going to promise you I'm going to watch it because that'll be a lie. But she has every right to have it. SFF said, I didn't see the first season of Kandi in the Game. A lot of us didn't. Hey, Dora. I know you know what? You always getting ready for work. This is a hard-working lady. Lily, that's my sis. She's working and listening. We love you, Lily. Love you. Now, Deborah Best, what you say? How you doing? Say, I'll watch if it's the evil mama and the aunts they entertain. Oh, I love her mama and aunties. Let me be very clear. Love Mama Joyce. She entertains me and she tickles my liver in a way that nobody else can. Portia spinoff was good, if we being honest, T-Dollar. A lot of people tried the front. You know, it's the pretty tax. If you're pretty, people hate you. That's just how that goes. But it was very entertaining. And I did find out what was lie and what was true. That's how I figured out that she snitched on, Fallon's nasty tail. And Kandi and the Gang was entertaining to you as well. I never watched it. It could be. Her family is I didn't know her family was on the show. Her family is extremely entertaining. Hey, Sherlock homeboy, you tardy to the party. But I feel like Kandi's popularity isn't from the show to me. It definitely isn't. It's from her being on social media spinning narratives. Because I never saw this many Kandi fans until she started speaking on it, lying on it, whatever you want to call it. Hey, Couture Bay, how are you? All right. Lord, Couture Bay say the same thing. She said season 2 after standing with the bosses. It sounds about right. It sounds about right. So I just wanted to report that. And Fallon, now y'all remember Fallon's last baby daddy, the one that's, and listen, y'all, I'm slow. I did not know that little boy, the pool boy that Fallon cheated on her husband with and lost the millionaire, was 10 years younger than her. I did not know that. While she talking about we're friends, we don't have a relationship. You were not friends with no little boy 10 years younger than you. You were not friends with him. Once I heard that she was 10 years older than him, y'all, that's when I realized she really did groom that little boy. And when he said, she groomed me, and he was talking about how she kept saying, oh, that Simon's mean to me. He don't treat me right. She really did emotionally manipulate a child. She's a creepo. So anyway, she goes online and posts a picture in a t-shirt that says the groomer playing that song, The Boy's a Liar. The problem is the boy. Go back to that. The boy, Fallon. You're 10 years older with your worn out apparatus down there, you old cargo. And you went with this little kid, you bought him a truck and gave him a ring and had him running around going by your last name. You're an embarrassment to womanhood. You are a disgrace to womanhood. Somebody should sew that cavern that you have down there. They should sew it shut. But anyway, I just had to throw those things in there. And let's talk about this Carlos King and Kenya Moore interview. Y'all know your girl took notes. Okay? You off work? You know I took notes. Very good ones at that. And I'm going to let y'all know what I heard and what I think about it. Now, I want to know what y'all think about it, too. Yep, the spinning stories. And always a scheme. Miss Thelma said every time I tried to watch Candy's show, I fall asleep. Ooh. Y'all tough. Yes, the boy 10 years younger than her. Creepy heifer. Lily said, I used to go to her candy-coated nights. She posted on her Instagram some stuff I gifted her and Riley years ago. Stuff from my boutique, Swarovski crystal cell phone cases. Oh, that's cool. That's what's up. You always cool like that. Deborah said, Todd stop Mama Joyce on Rachel A. Now we have boring Kandi BS. Right. He hating on Mama Joyce because Mama Joyce is more entertaining. And he know people like Mama Joyce more than him. That's what this is about. Y'all, please hit the like button. Support if you'd like to. That'd be cool. But please, if you don't do anything else, please be kind and hit that like button. Okay? Because it really does help me out. No fooling. So let's talk about this interview. So we got banter between the two of them. You can tell that they're friends. They talked about their friendship and some old things. It was lots of little small talk. I still say, and this is not a slight against Kenya, this is anybody, if I'm being honest. There's no way in hell I'd have done that interview following behind Nene Leakes. No way in hell. Carlos would have had to interview me first. And the reason I say that he would have had to interview me first is for a simple reason. Nene's personality is larger than life. She's sparkling. She's engaging. And so then to try to get through Kenya's interview after that was very difficult, if I'm being honest. Because y'all know the way I watch things. I watch things with my pen, number one, with my pen in my hand. And I'm taking notes every time somebody opens their mouth. And I'm putting down like the main things that you're saying, jotting down, everything that follows behind that. And just overall, just being real. In hindsight, this was a part one. He said I think he said the 22nd, he's coming back with part 2. It was very difficult just because even though, and I think it's human nature, even though you don't intend to compare, and I didn't want to compare these two ladies because they're night and day, apples and oranges. It was difficult not to compare, number one. And two, just their style of communication was extremely different. Not bad, just different. So I personally would not have done mine after Nene. I feel like Carlos should have done Kenya's first. I feel like he should have done Kenya's first. And the other reason I say that is because that interview happened 2 weeks ago, and we're still dealing with the fallout from the Nene Leakes interview. That has not stopped at all. Like, that fallout has not stopped at all. The girls are responding. They're doing interviews with other people and still referencing that interview like it's a passage of scripture or something. Like, it was really, jarring to see that this lady can do an interview on a YouTube channel and have that type of an impact. So I just feel like, and it's just me being honest, I feel like some of what Kenya has to offer may well get lost in, oh, well, it ain't Nene type situation. And I think she did offer some very good information, some things that I did not know, and some things that y'all probably hadn't heard either. That's if you listen to the interview. If you didn't, don't worry. As I said, hey, Fifi, as I said, I took notes. Okay, I always take notes. Okay. Let's go. Hold on. Let me grab a couple of comments before I do. Yvette says, I found myself rewinding bits at the end, towards the end, as my mind wandered off. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wandered off a few times. Good interview, though. Not a patch on Nene, though. I'm glad. Like, I didn't need to hear her thoughts on Lanithia. I needed to hear Kenya. Yeah, Nene was definitely laughing at how bothered they were, because they were definitely bothered, and it shook up everybody. SFL say the ladies were big mad. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard not to be. If you put yourself in their position, it's kind of hard not to be. And I'm gonna just leave that there. T Dollar says, and I love how a lot of this interview, Kenya didn't talk about the show or the ladies for that long. I was so sucked into her life. Yeah, it was informative. It was interesting, and it was a lot of information that I didn't know about. Hey, Michael Alexander, what's happening? And it made me kind of, I don't know. It made me look at some things from a different vantage point. Yeah, Nene did own it. Like, it was basically Nene's interview, and Carlos King was there. It was just a different vibe. That's all I can say. Lala say Carlos did take Nene's advice about the in-person interviews. Definitely. And to be honest, Nene was right. I think Carlos does better with the in-person interviews. The whole Zoom interview thing, it's not as personal. And you can tell that there's a difference in the chemistry with the folks that he's interviewing in person too. Yeah, they hate to admit it. It hurts their feelings, but they really can't help themselves. I think part 2 is probably going to be more messy too. A lot of people get excited over mess. I'm not a big mess person, but if it happens, I'm going to talk about it. Now, let's be clear. So anyway, she and he talks about their relationship. She pointed out the fact that Carlos always gave them sound advice. And he didn't really coddle anybody. He would just tell you, like, look, you messed up. I did not know both of them were from Detroit. I knew she was from Detroit, but I didn't know Carlos was also from Detroit. And so anyway, things transition from there, and she started getting into a lot of her backstory and what made her her. And so it was nice to hear her tell how things went. And yeah. So what she had to say, yeah, Nene does give great advice. Bravo has been using her advice for years and making money off of it. And then they still tried to devalue that Black woman. Isn't that something? But she talked about her mother, and that, that her mother told her she would destroy her and that she would dog her for the rest of her life. And she talked about an incident when she was a child where she said she made a pre-recorded message or something for her mother, and her cousin was helping her sneak into the grandmother's house, her mama's house, and they were going to just play it because she said her mama wouldn't let her talk to her and she wouldn't listen to her, whatever like that. And that basically she got caught, and the lady, kind of grabbed her up. And she said that was the only time she saw her grandmother stick up for her, or the first time. I don't want to tell it wrong. But and said, why won't you just talk to the girl, or she's your kid. And she said that her mother said that she never had a child. She never had a child. And that she don't know what she was talking about. So I don't know whether that was, due to anything other than mental health. I don't know if it was a behavior issue. According to Kenya in this interview, she said that she nor the family knew the whole story with her mother. I think there's definitely more to it. Hey, Queen of Hearts, KS, how you doing? So yeah, it was something else. And I was like, okay, this may have been a mental illness type situation. It could well have been. And then two, I don't know how to take it. And I know that this was intended to be a tearjerker and to pull at heartstrings. But if I'm being very honest, Kenya has not always been very truthful. So I don't know what's true and what's not. And I the only thing I can say responsibly is, if this did indeed happen the way she's saying, then I'm very sorry that that happened to her that way. I don't know. I don't know how to look at the family, because her family is not telling that story. That's not the family. That's not the story that her family is telling. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's one thing when you can get a family member to tell something on you or say something bad about you or to not back up your story. But when it's like the majority of the people not really going along with what you said, I just don't know. I don't know. So that's why I said the best thing I can say responsibly. And the reason I say responsibly is because her mother has a right to be dealt with fairly too. She has a right not to be slandered just in case it's not true. And Kenya has a right to be heard in case it is true. So that's just why I say responsibly. The best thing I can say is, if that indeed happened to her that way, then I'm sorry that it did. We don't know what that lady's story is, T Dollar. We simply don't know, because she's not talking. She's not talking. And according to Kenya, she's not even willing to admit that she gave birth to a child at all. So anytime something happens that's that heavy and you repress an entire pregnancy and childbirth, something traumatic took place to that person, if indeed we are to believe what we're being told. Michael Alexander, thank you so much for the super chat. Say just a random act of kindness on a Tuesday. I appreciate the love and support and the random act of kindness. All right. We do it on Thursdays over here, but my bro kicked it off on Tuesday. Linez Beauty said that maybe that's why Kenya's so hateful and mean. That's what people keep saying as, the reason for her behavior. But I don't know. I really don't know. Hearing that was very unpleasant to hear. It was very unpleasant to hear. And again, all I'm gonna say about that is, if it happened that way, I feel very sorry. I mean, look, T Dollar, we don't know what really went on. We know what Kenya is saying. So I'm not gonna say anything about those people like that, because I don't know them. And I'm not gonna say anything about her mama because I don't know her. I know we've seen Kenya tell lies. So I'm sorry. When it comes down to it, I am my mother's daughter. Once I catch you lying, I don't know how to believe you when it comes to anything. That's why it's important to be truthful all the time. But that's neither here nor there. I'm very sorry that happened. They're not saying that. That's not the story they're telling. I'm not gonna get into what I heard that the cousin said and the auntie said, but it could well be Miss Nisi, but I don't know. And unfortunately, we may never know what really went on. But we're not talking about them yet. Yeah, y'all done jumped all the way to that. Couture Bay said that's why Phaedra called her unsound. Kenya lashed out. It makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. Something definitely isn't right. Um, right, Katrina. Kenya did go to her house, and the auntie stopped fooling with her for doing that to her mama. And the mama came out and said Kenya was lying. Exactly. That's why I'm like, I'm not jumping on that to start demonizing that lady because I don't know what's true. I simply don't. I just don't know, and none of us do. So me, I'm gonna always be responsible. It does sound like something bad happened if that's how it's, if that's really how things went. Um, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. A lot of bad things went on back in the day. Um, Hearing that really was like, okay, so this is the story that she has, and this is what she says happened to her, and I'm not going to and other things. Like we'll never know. The world may never know. But she did say that, and I thought that was a very sad thing if indeed it happened. She said that she sat there and heard her mother tell her grandmother she never had a child. And so she started talking about the pageants that she was in as a little kid. And so she says that during the first, she said the first pageant was when she was around 13. The second pageant she was 16. She said she won the pageant, but that her mother called the pageant director and told about some things that was going on with her. She claimed that her mama called the people and said she was an alcoholic, and that she was going with a grown man. And Kenya said she was going with a 27-year-old, and she called him a predator, and he is a predator. That's exactly what that is. And I'm sorry that happened to her. T Dollar say, now, no, that mother gets no sympathy. You got a whole child trying to act like you don't. She need to take it up. But I don't know that happened, so I'm not gonna slander that lady. I don't know that woman. I don't know what she went through. I've never worn her shoes. I never met her. And the only person that's telling this story is Kenya. So Kenya could be telling the truth, but it could not be true as well. Because according to the mother, she said it wasn't true. Aunt Lori and them was not digging her how she did that. So I don't know. So I'm not going to demonize that lady. I don't know her. I don't know anything about her to do that. That's not fair. But anyway, she was going with a 27-year-old and whatnot. And so that one caught my attention. That caught my attention. One, that she was talking about the fact that she looked older because she was taller and more developed and things like that. I've been through that, so I know what that's like. And the fact that this 27-year-old was calling himself her boyfriend and was going with her, that explained a little bit more too, as to her when she mentioned when Marlo was going through it with the children misbehaving. If y'all recall on the show, she mentioned that she had ended up jumping out of a moving car because they were sending her to live with somebody else to get her out of the area. She probably was cutting up, as girls do once they get sexually active and start thinking they grown, as we say, smelling themselves. And she said she jumped out of a moving car and went and laid up with a man for 2 weeks. And I was thinking, how he had to be grown. I remember thinking then that he had to be grown, because what child would she have been able to lay up with for 2 weeks? What parent would have allowed her to lay up in their house for 2 weeks? So when she started talking about this story, it was like it gave a frame of reference. Like, this must be that guy. And he's such a scumbag. I hope he roasts in hell, because men that target children, I feel like there's a special place in hell for them. And again, I'm very sorry that happened to her. You say them dope boys. Every dope boy don't like little kids. That's a pedo. It's not a dope boy. That's a pedo. I'm from Florida. I've been around dope dealers my whole life. Every dope dealer does not like little kids. But I can definitely say stuff like that leads to a lot of trauma. So that really put it out. And some people can lie again and again and the story don't change, but that don't mean that it's true. And all I'm saying is, because I don't know, I'm not going to drag and slander her mother. I don't know nothing about that lady. Hey, sweet beloved. Nothing at all. She say it is. The lady say it ain't. I don't know. So I'm just gonna say if that happened to her, I'm very sorry that happened to her. But hold on. Let me get this comment. I can't see somebody making up something so serious without some proof coming from the mother's family or somebody in that would be mad at a lot of them are mad at Kenya. So that's why I'm like, I'm not touching it. Y'all can be mad with the lady. I'm not saying nothing about that lady. Sorry. I don't know what's true and what's not. So I'm not saying nothing about that woman. But anywho, she said her mama called a pageant director, told them that she was an alcoholic and that she was going with this man. And she said both of her grandmothers had to come to a meeting with the lady and bring letters and stuff and prove that it wasn't true. And so I just, I was like, wow. So at least both of her grandmamas had her back. I can't imagine why her mother would have done that. Again, if she did that, I'm sorry she did it. That's really all I can say. I'm sorry. Cheryl Thomas Hughes said, "You right, Shanitra. Not all dealers are pedos. They despise them more so than to be one." Right. That's what I'm saying. It's just not. Says she said that years ago about the 27-year-old. My question is, where was her daddy? I don't know where her daddy was. Probably where a lot of black men were, out of the home, not raising their children, picking and choosing which children to raise, running the street. There's no telling. You just can't put nothing past them. Meg Scott says some people do have their lies well rehearsed. Not saying she lying though. Right. We can't say she lying because we don't know. But the fact that you repeating the story over and over don't make it so. Fifi ASP says some families don't air out their differences via social media. Some don't. That's true. Yeah, you're gonna need to go watch it. You're gonna need to go watch it. Yeah, it doesn't say a lot for the daddy because all this was happening to her. But I did like hearing that both of her grandmamas came to her defense, and I thought that was so cool. Right. I mean, my father would have never allowed such nonsense either. But, we have to keep in mind and recognize that everybody did not grow up in the same circumstances. Those of us girls who had strong, present fathers, we have to recognize that, unfortunately, a lot of our sisters did not. And it's not their fault that they did not. No baby alive picks their mother or their father. You get who you get. Couture Bay say, I'm saying the guy she was dating was a Detroit D-boy. Oh, that's what she said. You see how that go? That's what she said. I don't know. Fifi say Kenya's family don't need to address anything publicly. They really don't. This was public enough. Lala said, wait a minute, her story ain't adding up. If your mama don't claim you, why would she call pageant directors about child? She said her mama was trying to destroy the child that don't exist. I don't know, Lala. That's why I'm trying not to look into it. I'm trying not to look into that. T Dollar said the family's being silent because that's what all black families did and do. No, because they haven't been silent. They've said things. They have said things. So, I mean, I just can't go with that. I'm sorry. I know it's like a comfortable and popular trendy narrative right now, but I'm just not. I can't. Like, y'all know me. Fair is fair, and I don't know what's true. Fair is fair, and I don't know what's true. I don't even want to guess at what's true because it's a sensitive topic. You know what I mean? So anyway, she said her mother was a teen mom. To be honest, I'm not sure why they decided to kind of open up with this narrative about her mama. Like, we heard all her stories about her mama years ago, but she went back to that. Couture say, I don't want them to because she is just now letting her dad around Brooklyn. Well, I mean, at least, the girls got to make the most of what's there. Like, if that's her daddy, if they can work it out, you know what I mean? I just hope it works out for her. Cynthia Gross said, I did not see the interview, but what happened to the aunt that Kenya was close to? She quit fooling with her behind the mess she did to her mama, because apparently they don't really agree with what Kenya said and what she did either. I don't know. Y'all rough in the chat. Y'all think the man getting an SSI check? Yeah, they have. Like, it's not a secret. Them people have had something to say, and they don't agree with her. So that's why I'm not gonna pick a side and say who's right. Vic says she said her mother said she intended to dog her out. No, she said that her mama said she would dog her for the rest of her life. Those were Kenya's words. And she said her mother told her she would destroy her. And so this is what Kenya said. If that happened to her, I'm very sorry. No, they're not making public statements to the press. They're not supposed to, but those people have definitely had something to say. And I feel like Aunt Lori definitely said what she said publicly enough, and it was very clear. Right, but we had strong fathers, but a lot of our sisters did not. So I feel like it's kind of, you know, not that you took a jab, but I feel like we're kind of to say certain things. It's like taking a jab at the woman or the child in the scenario. When we say stuff like that, the child could not pick their parent, and it's no point in saying where's the daddy. We know where they are. And according to her, her mama was a teen mom, and the daddy was a teenager too. So we're talking about two teenagers with a kid, and who knows where he was as a young person who had a baby as a teenager. Like, God only knows. I'm not here to guess at anything. I'm just here to report what the girl said. Now, hey, Noble Genius. Gerard Flowers said no, her story doesn't add up because once we find out who won the pageant is over. Woo! I'm not y'all rough today. Y'all are rough today. And I am hell bent that we're gonna give this girl a fair shake and report what she said. Couture Bay said, yeah, Kenya was born at a different time, and with her, you never know. Yeah, you never know. You never know. So in the absence of absolute solid facts, we not gonna guess at nothing. I'm gonna report what the girl said, and I'm sorry that happened if it happened the way she said. Shannon McGee said, I think that the 27-year-old man was probably somebody else's husband or boyfriend in the family. Well, how did you come up with that? Now, sis, I love you, but I'm like, where you get that from? Come on, man. Y'all killing me. You say that's why the mama told. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I got. I don't know. I feel ill-equipped to even handle this one. I'm just going to report what this woman said took place in her life. I don't know why we needed all of this, but she gave it to us. She said that the mama's always been kind of reclusive even before she had her. She was never was reported to have a very outgoing personality. So she didn't just become reclusive after the fact. And anyway, and so nobody in the family knows her full story as to why she is the way she is. Hey, Born to Be Wild. She said that she ended up studying psychology because she wanted to understand her mom. I can believe that. Whatever led to the mother not having a relationship with her, I do believe that affected the child. I saw a study that was done with a baby. Let me grab a couple comments because I don't want to stop with what I'm saying to read. So I get not like Kenya, but people have to sympathize with her on her mother because there's no excuse regardless. She spreaded her leg. We don't know whether she spreaded her legs or somebody spread them for her. So how about we don't talk about women in such a degrading fashion? We don't know enough about this lady to do that. Let's not do that. That's not nice. And it's not about liking Kenya or not liking Kenya. We're talking about two women. Kenya is a woman and her mother is a woman. We do not know what's true. And one thing we're not going to do is do that to a woman. Let's not do, because we don't know what's true. You get what I'm saying? I'm reporting what she said. I'm not taking anybody's side. And I don't have to do anything other than say, I'm very sorry that happened to her. If that happened to her the way she said. And the mother has to get some understanding because I'm not sure what people think. I don't know whether you all think that once women become pregnant and push out children that we're no longer women. Her mother is still a woman. So we don't know what happened in that woman's life as to why she responded, you know, the way she did. We just don't know. We don't know enough. So like I was saying, I do understand why she would have taken up psychology, you know, to try to understand, because it affects children no matter what the reason. If she did, you know, the way people, some of her relatives have said it was due to behavior issues or whatever the issue was, it affects a child when the mother does not acknowledge them. Hey, lady in pink, you were just watching the interview. Yep, we talking about it. You just in time. So in any event, so I was watching this study they did. It was just with babies. And so they had the mother to look away from the child and refuse to look back at the baby and refuse to respond to the child. And so I watched this, some of the video evidence that was there. And the baby first was being playful and cooing at his mother. And he was like swinging his little hand at his mother. And the mother didn't respond. And after a while, you could see the child become confused. The child had a confused look. And then the child became agitated. And then the child began to cry unconsolably. So there is, no matter how many people try to discount the link and connection between mothers and children, it matters. And I think it does do something to a child, even if it was warranted for the mother to not have contact with the child. So I don't know what caused the schism between the two, but I think it definitely did affect her. And she shared about her taking up psychology because she wanted to understand why her mama was the way she was with her. Carlos brought up the fact that she took those cameras to that lady's house, and Kenya was not able to understand. Hey, Allie from Miami was not able to understand why Lori, her aunt Lori, got on her and was like about going to that lady's house, and was like, "You look, if she don't want to be bothered with you, leave that woman alone." And so Kenya's like, "Well, you know, I'm the child and she's the mother, and you know, nobody is understanding. Like, why would you tell a child not to approach their mother?" It's not about telling, you know, and I understood where Aunt Lori was coming from then and now. But I also understand why, no matter what the reason is, Kenya desperately wanted to try to create some sort of connection or attachment to her mother. So that was interesting. I just don't understand why this was in the interview. I don't. I feel like this was something, I don't know. I just felt like it was out of place, putting all this stuff here. Like, we've all heard about it. We watched those of us who are fans of RHOA, we watched that season. It was a pitiful thing to watch. It was just as pitiful as Ashley Darby going to her white daddy's house and him refusing to open the door. You know, some stuff we lived through that with her. So it's like, why we had to hear that again, I don't know. I don't know whether she was laying the basis for something else and it kind of got derailed. So, you know, there's that. It just kind of is what it is. It's unfortunate. I did understand Aunt Lori, though. Very good point. Leave that woman alone. Definitely very sad, Destiny. But what I find interesting, and what also derails some of Kenya's claims just a smidge, is the fact that if in fact, I knew what you meant, True Wisdom. I knew what you meant, babe. But if in fact her mother just says, I don't have a child, and it's not what your family says that it is, why then would your mother be willing to send presents and a card to your daughter and acknowledge the grandchild, but she just don't want nothing to do with you? It don't sound right. Who would acknowledge the grandchild from a child that they says does not exist? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I'm not touching it, because I don't want to mess with Kenya's trauma either, because for all we know, this could have affected her in such a way that she had to frame a narrative that made it more palatable for her. And not saying, and it could have been something that she didn't do intentionally. You know, the human mind is a funny place. And that's all I'm going to say. Rochelle, congratulations on your 25 months as a royal family member. You said, can't believe it's been that long. I know, right? You said if it's confusing to us, imagine how Kenya feels. I couldn't possibly imagine how she feels, but I have empathy. Yeah, Brooklyn, does she look like her granny? I don't know. I did see a picture of Kenya's mother though. She's not a bad looking lady. So that's all I can say about that. But I do find it funny that, she acknowledges the grandchild, but she doesn't fool with. It actually sounds, and this is just the few of her relatives who have said something, what they're saying sounds like it jives more with the mother's reaction to the grandchild than what Kenya's saying. So that's why I keep saying, I don't know. I hope that whatever it is, that one of these days they can fix it. Angela Davis says it's deeply rooted, and I pray she heals from what her mom did, but she's a great mama to Brooklyn. Yeah, she's a good little mama. That's one thing I have always maintained. Everything we can see says that she for all eyes to see, she's a good mama. That's really all I can say about that. But anyway, Carlos said that she is the most misunderstood, and he's basing that on his personal relationship with her, because he says they talk once to twice a week even now. They're very good friends. He feels like Kenya is very misunderstood. If you ask me, I think that's just an Aquarius thing. We're usually misunderstood. You say things the way you see it, the way you feel it, and sometimes folks don't get that and they can take it the wrong way. He called her very smart. I said, to that, I laughed, but that's all I can say to that one. Shine Bright say Brooklyn looks just like Kenya's grandma. Been her twin since day one. Yeah, I don't know. I just see a cute little baby. I can't really pick it out. T Dollar said a lot of Aquarius people I know go through a lot growing up. Well, I'm an Aquarius and I went through a couple of things, but nothing quite like that. Nothing quite like that. And if we're honest, a lot of people go through a lot of things. Some people are just better adjusted than others. Like, I don't think there's anybody floating through life or floating through childhood without any hiccups, mishaps, misunderstandings, trauma. I think some people, just don't adjust well afterwards. Everybody does not adjust well. And that's not a knock at the people who don't. It's just life. It's just life be lifing. Okay, life just be lifing. So she says she feels that people judge her by her reaction to what people do to her. And again, I'm sitting there like, okay, that's a very Aquarius thing to say, because we do go through that. Y'all know I'm January 31st. So if anybody understands that, I do. I went through that. People will often police your reaction to things. That's true. That's very true, very accurate. And she feels like that's what people judge her on. And she says that people only judge her on that. What I will say about that she said, while that is true, that's only partially true. The other thing that I noticed with Kenya, is that Kenya will believe something to be a slight that may not be a slight and react to it. And that makes her look like she looks to people. So it's not just that they're judging her reaction. It's the fact that some of the things that she's heavily offended by, or she finds to be a slight, she reacts to it, and everybody's looking at you like you're a nut because nothing happened to you. This person didn't do anything to you. And now you're just attacking somebody because of what's going on with you mentally. Now, if we're being fair, someone with the level of trauma that she is portraying to have may well be hypersensitive to certain things. So if she's hypersensitive to something and she's offended by something that normal people wouldn't be offended by, to her, she's reacting to a slight. To everyone else on the planet and on the moon, you're just a mean, crazy person. So that may be what's going on. And two things can be true at the same time. She feels offended, she feels attacked, she's responding, but no one understands that you feel offended and attacked. All they see is you're responding, but what they see is an attack because no one knows what you're responding to. And I think that's where Kenya is losing it. She doesn't get that everybody doesn't see the offense that you see. Sometimes folks are just being folks and they're not trying to offend you. And she's taking it away and responding. And I can say that that's a reality. I've done it. When I was younger, less self-aware, I've definitely been guilty of that. I've been completely offended by something somebody did or said, took it all the way to the extreme, and now I'm sitting up. I'm strapped up like Rambo. I got ammo across my chest, got the pump in both hands, and I'm ready to level the whole house. And, hindsight, years later, you find out that person really didn't mean anything by it. They weren't trying to do anything to you. And so you feel as though I'm justified because, Aquarius, we do have that sense of justice and wanting to level out the playing field, when in actuality, that person could have meant you no harm at all. And I think that is where she kind of, that's where she kind of loses her grip on things. Hey, Daphne. But I understood what she was saying. Now, that's when I felt for her. I think a lot of y'all was feeling for her with the, oh, my mama. I didn't. I think that was designed to get, to tug at the heartstrings and to be the tearjerker. That didn't move me. Not one iota. I'm going to be honest. Again, all I can say about that is I'm sorry that happened to you if it happened that way. This one right here, that's the part that tugged at my heartstring because I understand where she's missing it at. And it also let me know that even though she tries to put on a big pretty smile, because she's definitely a pretty lady, she puts on that big pretty smile and that exterior that a lot of us aquas do, especially us aqua girls, will put on that exterior. I don't care. But it let me know when she said that she absolutely cares how people see her. And to a degree, it bothers her that people don't see her heart or her true intention in things. And she mentioned that she was saying that, nobody sees what they do to me. And I said, oh, man, I've been that girl before. So that really kind of tugged at my heartstrings a lot because I understood a little bit. It made me kind of ease up, with my opinion of her just a smidge because it made me understand, okay, that's what she's doing. All right, gotcha. So it made a little more sense. Carlos asked her if she thought that colorism played a part in why she's viewed that way and why people are so unfair with her. She says definitely she thinks that it does play a part in how she's perceived. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. Perfect example. We see somebody like a Giselle Bryant who's absolutely nasty, horrible, vindictive, and a huge liar on another platform. And she's given a lot more room to be terrible without just being called the devil incarnate. And nobody's going to give Kenya that same understanding with sometimes the same behavior. So I absolutely agree with her that does have a part to play in how some people perceive her. Some of us, we're going to perceive it the way it is either way. Y'all know me. I don't like Giselle anymore than I like Kenya. But after hearing how her mind works, without her being in the group dynamic on the show, without her constantly, fighting to be the center of attention, I actually understand how her mind works better. It makes more sense to me, if that makes sense. I still cannot come up with rhyme nor reason as to why Giselle is evil, nasty, and lies on people. This actually kind of made me feel bad for Kenya a little because it was like, oh, wow. So you not even meaning to come off like that. This is, this is her reaction to things, whether real or imagined. It's real enough to her. It's real enough to her that she feels the need to react to it, to respond to it. That made me feel kind of bad for her because I understood. Like I was able to actually understand her. So that's what's up. T Dollar, what warms your heart? What warms your heart? Let me know. But it really did. I really, seeing that, it really kind of put some things in perspective. Some of the things that did not make sense about her made a whole lot of sense in that one instant. I was like, oh, that's what this is. So they started talking about her with the movies and stuff. Now that I kind of zoned out because it was not interesting. It was not. T Dollar, what you say? So that's why her and Nene always had mutual respect, regardless of their problems. Absolutely. Now I did zone out a little bit about your production companies and more something and more, and like that was boring. I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was uninteresting all the way around the board. That's that stuff I was talking about. This one should have went first. But they started talking about her producing stuff, and she claims responsibility for putting Will Packer on the map, and she don't know why he ain't never hired her again. And Carlos was saying he's friends with Will Packer and he need to reach out to her because they need to do a Twa reboot or a Twa, like I guess something like a sequel. I don't know. I never watched the first one. Y'all let me know if it was good. Not my type of movie. Not that anything was wrong with it. It's just not me. Y'all know I'm, horror movie, action movie, comedy. Like I'm real boring. And Nollywood, sign me up for that. Cynthia Gross say, if no one sees what others are doing to her, is that the same situation as her mother? Kenya says no one understands or knows what her mother does to her. From Kenya's point of view, I don't know. Are you saying like, basically that people are judging her mother's reaction, but nobody knows what happened to her mother either? It could be. Sometimes history repeats itself. True Wisdom say, I don't like about 99.9% that makes me drop down to 99.8. It actually took me from a strong dislike to a mild displeasure. It made me understand, like I like to consider myself a reasonable person, and if I can understand why you're doing something, that makes it a lot better for me. T Dollar said, and that's why she completely did not respect Cynthia when she first came on. What's the reason? I don't get it. SFF say Kenya feels Gizzard is the star. Child, but that's something later on. Y'all know that I don't be jumping around like that. That's right. Hit the like button, y'all. Thumbs up, thumbs up. So Twa was okay. Okay. All right. Well, Carlos was telling her they need to do a reboot or whatever. And say she did say her family never took up for her, and that's so weird to me. It could be because her perception of things is not exactly the way it was for the people who were observing it. We have to be fair in that somebody going through trauma, and I'm trying not to dwell on that stuff too much. I'm trying to move past it because I don't know why it was included. To be honest, this interview would have been much better without it. But I'm going to say this and I'm going to move past it. When someone is going through something, they may not always see clearly. They may not always see clearly. So the family may see exactly what went on and just feel like you're not being real. You're not telling the truth. I'm not studying you. We're not taking up for that. But in reality, I feel like Black families sometimes don't understand the aspect of, even if it's not the way that person perceived it, it's still having a very real effect on them. So you should, not discount how they feel about it. Say Kenya is jealous, but I get it. But can you not see how somebody with all of those different things going on in their head could find themselves being jealous of other people? Like, I could see that, even though she has no reason. But I could see it. Cynthia Gross said, why was Kenya so nasty to Kim Fields? What did Kim Fields do to Kenya? Yeah, I'm still a no on Kenya. Right. What she did to Kim Fields was absolutely inexcusable. I'm trying to just say what happened. Y'all not gonna let this lady live. I know she's not nice. Like, I get it. T Dollar said, yeah, 12 was okay. It was big the generation before me. I'm only 20. Lord, you a baby. You a whole baby. I'm grown. I remember when it came out and it wasn't that big because everybody wasn't watching it. Most of us wasn't watching that. That's why it went straight to DVD. Like, nobody wasn't watching it like that. You know, the people, maybe the people that knew them, or it kind of made the black circles, but I never watched it. Lily say, I don't see a reboot for that movie. It didn't wow me, but it's okay. Right. Maybe Carlos was just, gassing her up, maybe trying to like amp up the energy because the energy was really down. That's the other reason why I didn't understand why we included all that wet blanket stuff, but because it took the energy of the interview way down. I didn't see Kim Fields being passive aggressive. I saw Kim Fields reacting to the nastiness of Kenya. Hey, Keisha E. I'm glad you here, girl. We didn't know you was in the building. I'm glad you said something. Right. Kim has the life she desires. I can dig that too. Kim Fields was everything Kenya wanted to be deep down. Possibly. And I still say Kenya don't have a reason to be envious of anybody. I think envy and stuff, I think that comes from inside. I think that's an internal issue. Kenya's acting in that movie was poor. Her acting and everything was poor. Y'all know she ain't no good actress now. It was a popular hood movie. Well, I'm not from the hood, but I know hood people, and a lot of the hood people I know were not watching that. My daddy's store was in the hood. I know a lot of hood people. I'm from Ocala. When nobody running around like, hey, my nigga, you seen that twa? No, it wasn't happening. It wasn't. It just wasn't. You say definitely delisted. I can believe that. I can believe it. I think Carlos wanted us to understand her more, but we had already heard that. To me, you say maybe not understand, but empathize. Maybe that's what it was. He was trying to maybe soften everybody's heart toward her before he got into everything else. To me, it was like, I felt like it was an attempt at emotional manipulation. Like, that's what I felt like it was, if I'm being honest. Right. So for me, I felt like it was far more interesting to hear how her mind worked and how she perceived her behavior as opposed to how we perceived it. To me, that's where the interview picked up. Because all that, oh, my mama, oh, my family, my auntie and granny, them, like, that did not move me one iota. Not one iota. T Dollar says, if you go back and watch, you'll see Kim Fields hook up with Phaedra on the show and started treat Kenya differently. But yeah, Kim played the innocent light skin role very well. Kim ain't even that light. You really you gonna dislocate your shoulder reaching like that. That lady didn't do anything to Kenya. It's perfectly okay for her to become friendly with Phaedra. Like, it's not against the law to be friends with Phaedra. It's just not. Ms. Nisa say, I'm from Flint, live in the hood, never seen the movie. Thank you, sis. I thought I was the one crazy. I mean, it wasn't on the level with Queen Pen, Dollars and Drops either, or Shutters. Like, it was a lot of hood movies and I watched them, but that just wasn't one of them. I'm sorry. It wasn't. It just wasn't all that. SFF says she saw it on bootleg. I hope that's enough. Meg Scott said, not you rewriting the show. Everything Kim Fields did with Kenya was in response. Please go back and watch. You know, the eternal background actor. Right. Hey, BJ Dez, what's happening? D Seratinas, what's going down? Just got in from work. Y'all, please remember to hit that like button. I want to get into some more of this stuff that was said during that interview. Let's get into it. Hold on. Okay. All right. Honeybees, what you say? I blame Carlos and Miss Lawrence for Kenya's delusions of grandeur. But according to Kenya, she already had the delusions when she got there. Lily said, I like Kenya, but Kim didn't do anything to Kenya. She didn't. She didn't do a thing to her. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Carlos was trying to pump her up so good. He was like, "Oh, we need to do a Black Melrose Place, and you can be like the Heather Locklear character." And she said she was gonna go write it, and I was like, "Oh Lord, this is cute, but Allie, I don't believe they're gonna do no drama. I just don't believe they're gonna do no drama." I didn't see anything Kim did to that lady. I didn't see not one thing. And if you've been around, I call it down the middle. Whether I like you or not, I'm going to call it what it is. I didn't see Kim Fields do anything to that crazy lady. Right. Nothing at all. Not even anything. Couture Bay say Kenya can be personable, but she chooses to play the mean girl simply because her social status, because her social status, but her demeanor is not received well. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not received well. Meg Scott said Kim Fields saw through Kenya's mess and Ken couldn't take it. That's how it started. Let's be honest. Yeah, well, there's that. T Dollar say even when they would meet up, Kim had a condescending tone. Child, you can reach all you want to, baby. Ain't nobody going there but you. You on your own with that one. We can't go with you. Kalila say Carlos promising Kenya and Nene shows and movies total BS. I feel like he'll work with Nene before he'll work with Kenya talking about a scripted drama. Because we've seen him pull reality shows out of somewhere. Trina says Kenya got mad because Cynthia chose Kim to do the commercial. Right. That's all I saw. I didn't see anything else that should have caused that ridiculous behavior. But anyway, so let's go head on. So Carlos started talking about when he left and came back and Kenya's entrance to the show. So again, I feel like for me, the interview did not really pick up until we got to her talking about how she feels about how she's being perceived, and Carlos putting in his 2 cents that he feels like she is the most misunderstood. Okay. So he was talking about that season 4 he felt like something was off, he left. Season 5 that people was calling him like, you got to see this Kenya Moore girl, she just twirling all over the place and tearing up everything, just dramatic and whatever. And he said when he came back season 6, she was saying she wasn't going to come back, and he went and took the company credit card and talked to her to try to get her back. He wanted to work with her. He knew who she was. Right, Lily, the interview was boring. The interview was absolutely boring. I made it through. I had to stop and go back a few times, like Yvette was saying, but I made it through because I wanted to be fair. Like I hung on to every word with Nene's because it was just like it, she captured the audience. But this one was a little boring, but there were some interesting parts. So I don't want us to just like write the lady off. She gave some interesting information. And so did Carlos. Like their interaction was pretty cool. So she was talking about how she ended up there. Said she was in LA in that house that she had owned it. Wink, wink, hint, hint. And so she said that she was, pilot season, going out auditioning for stuff, rinse, repeat. Said it was like a cycle. She felt like she was not getting anywhere because she wasn't. Every now and then she get a cameo. Every now and then she get a walkthrough. Like I'm glad she was honest about that. It wasn't going anywhere. Said she had multiple relationships, and one time she almost got married. She said one of her relationships dudes was a celebrity, the other one was an agent. Said she became a homebody. She was just keeping her head down and working and paying her light bill and stuff, and just doing her thing. Said she was friends with Miss Lawrence, and Miss Lawrence was the one that told the producers about her, told Joy about her after she had told him she was going to move to Atlanta. And so that's how that went on. And she went and met with them people or whatever. But she said when she first heard about the show, her first thought was that ain't gonna work, And she said when she watched the show that she didn't like Nene. She was like, she was loud and this and that, and she was cringing, and she was like, her opinion changed after meeting her, but just watching on the show, she said she didn't watch the show very often, but she did watch, a little bit here and there, and she didn't like Nene until, say she met her, she changed her opinion of her once she met her. And they were talking about how she had to audition and that she shot for months without being paid and without being an official cast member. They were trying her out to see how it was going to go. Kalila said the fact that Walter retained Phaedra was interesting. Yeah, it was a lot. We ain't got there yet, though. Y'all know I don't be jumping around. I try to keep stuff in order. That's why I got my notebook. Trina say, oh my, I was finna say the same because Shanitra don't even sound excited about delivering the news. Girl, it's hard. It's very hard, but I want to be fair. Even if it was not the most exciting or titillating, I still want to be fair. Allie says, I like the interview. She gave us insight on why the last couple of seasons have been bad. No, not me. She didn't. Hey, Sharon Hayward, say Kenya's playing a role that is natural for her. She's just getting paid for it. Ooh, that was rough, sis. Allie says maybe part 2 will be better since it's more about the show. Maybe. I'm hoping that part 1 was kind of like giving her backstory so people would at least be open to hearing her. She definitely proved Nene's point. Absolutely. Absolutely. With a lot of things that were being said. That's all right, Kalila. I know how y'all be doing me. Okay. So they were talking about the fact that she did for months. She wasn't official. They were filming and everything. And that it used to be hard to get on the show. And you had Carlos saying that not anybody can get on the show. It's like a playground now. Said before it was exclusive and made a reference to Soho House, and talking about how hard it was to even just be cast on the show. And now anybody can get in. And he was talking about, that's right, Bitter T. I got notes. See, listen. I want you to hear the pages. Y'all hear the pages of that notebook? I be dead serious when I say I take notes. I'm not joking. Because I like to be sure and clear about what people say. Allie, how you doing? So in any event, he went to talking about, the new girls and how they have batteries in their backs and their fans and they watch the show, and said that Lawrence was really her way in, that he would invite her places if he got an invite. That's how she was able to get into some of the places. And basically she feels like if they're fans, then things are inauthentic or whatever. And so she wants the girls to have to go through the same process she had to go through to get on. But things change. And a lot of us have to recognize that that's just life. Things change. Those of us who went to college, please understand, these kids are not going through what we went through to get there. Like, it just ain't the same. The world changes. So you just have to suck it up, Buttercup. But you can tell that she was not really cool with that. And I'm pretty sure she was, had a picture of Courtney in her mind when she was talking. And so with season 5, she was saying that she was so offended because she felt like, when she came on, rather, she said she felt like she was being auditioned, and she felt like it should have just been offered to her and she shouldn't have had to been auditioned, and said that she didn't understand what was going on, and she didn't understand Cynthia's attachment to Nene. And she said because she just didn't understand how things worked, and that she eventually gave them an ultimatum and they let her be full time because she was like, look, I'm through with this. It just ain't working and I'm going to just go. and that they told her film one more. She said, if you don't, then I'm gonna just leave. And they, made her full time, and the rest was history. It was after Nene's event or something. It was a lot of, somebody's in the room, and she started, talking about that's when she was like, why am I here? Why am I here? And so she just felt like she was she said she was offended. She felt like it should have just been given. Um Shannon say, like Carlos said before, what's wrong with being a fan? Well, I mean, we could go back and just keep repeating and touting that. But if we're going to be fair, Kenya actually made it clear why she felt as though it was a bad idea. And to be honest, she's not entirely wrong. And it actually echoes some of the same sentiments that I've had. And some of you know it. I've said before, I don't like the fact that these girls will watch the shows and then they come on the show trying to impersonate people who've been on the show, and it gives a lot of inauthenticity. It's just inauthentic. It's very disingenuous. So I don't think she was wrong for that. That she actually made a good point. That's all right, Sharon. It's good to see you. Allie says, when she said the girls don't audition, they meet the new girls when they start filming, is one of the reasons why the show is bad now. Oh, okay. That's what she's saying. Well, Kenya, the same thing could be said about you. And Kandi, for that matter. The show, in my book, started going down when they started bringing in people who were not a part of the actual friend group, and they just started throwing folks in like popcorn. So she didn't understand because she was trying to keep up with her lies. Oh, Lord have mercy. Hit the like button. Yvette said, I hadn't realized the girls had went on strike because of Kim. Yes, I didn't know that either. So that's when we get into this talk about Portia and how Portia ended up on the show. Because Nene didn't even give us that all of them had went on strike because of Kim. And so that's how they ended up grabbing Portia, because they didn't know what was going to happen with Kim after Kim walked off. So that's how Portia got on the show. And they were striking because Kim was getting preferential treatment. And in all honesty, that's exactly what Lanithia said. And of course, when Nene said, oh no, she's too big, it's her ego, she needs to humble herself. And I found it real funny that all of these heifers, including Kenya, this heifer, was real quiet when Nene was making her claims and writing her papers and complaining about the mistreatment, the preferential treatment, and all the things that was going on. Now, all of a sudden, not everybody has mouth to talk. They didn't have mouth to talk before, but they all got mouth to talk now. Everybody is talking Tina now. Where was all these talky boos before? But whatever. So she said when she first met Portia, they had lunch, everything was cool or whatever. And she said she was kind of gauging her, and Portia was real sweet. And then she went to the charity event, and she was put off because, the man gifted Portia a Chanel bag, and she was like, this is a charity event. Why would you do that here? And it wasn't your event, so it wasn't your business. But Kenya kind of gives that vibe that like she'll just sit up and critique the hell out of what everybody else is doing, and then when it's time for her to show and prove, we get Uber Eats in hotel lobbies. But I digress. She was like, her whole thing with Portia being mad about her saying Miss America instead of Miss USA. Now this is her explanation, but I'm just going to be honest. It sounds like poppycock and falderall. Okay? Because she says it wasn't just because she made that mistake. A lot of people make that mistake, which was my opinion in the very beginning. Let me sip some whiskey. My throat is a little scratchy. She said a lot of people make that mistake, which was my sentiment from the very beginning. Right, Couture Bay. She absolutely shows that people being happy kind of bothers her for some reason. I'm not sure why. So that's because she wanted Nene's spot. What's because she wanted Nene's spot? You got to give me a complete sentence. I don't understand. So I think it was Portia's birthday as well. Okay, I see, my mind bad. I didn't remember that. Say, nah, Portia definitely knew what she was doing. According to your fave, she says a lot of people make that mistake. So why is it that Portia knew what she was doing? Let me tell you something. Y'all got to help yourselves out. See, I can't help you until you help yourself. Help me help you. Because one thing a Kenya fan is gonna do is call Portia dumb, and then in the next breath say that she was being calculated. Now, which one is it? Is she dumb or was it calculated? Pick a struggle. Sharon Haywood say, was that shade or an accident? Think about who was speaking. Right. It just wasn't that deep, and she had to admit herself. Couture Bay, thank you so much for the super chat. Say, thank goodness you watched this interview. I couldn't do it. It was deadly boring, but I got y'all's back. Oh, shoot. Sis said, you want to add to the daiquiri fund, hit the cash app. Listen, after this, I think I need and deserve a couple of daiquiris. Pineapple, more than likely. T Dollar said, I think the producers told Portia to do that. I don't think so. I just don't think so. Hey, Dambrielle, say Kenya always wanted Nene's spot, and they see now they can't replace Nene, and you better tell the truth. Listen, I'm about to text you the StreamYard. That's what I'm finna do. Y'all don't know this my people's right here. Yeah, no, you can't. You can't. Y'all love to talk about how dumb this girl is, and oh no, she calculated. Like, pick a struggle. Stop it. Don't be dedicated to hating somebody just because Portia hate them. It makes you look real obtuse. Talking about Kenya and Portia. I'm confused. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. Yeah, I can't keep up. Trina say Kenya wanted Nene's spot. That's why they didn't want to stand with Nene. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Thank you for clarifying. I be so lost sometimes. Say, I agree. I still get Miss America and Miss USA confused. I'm a pageant girl. Listen, that's my whole thing. So the fact that even Kenya can admit that it's a mistake that a lot of people make, I did not understand. I never understood why it was such a sin for Portia, of all people, to make the mistake that you yourself say that a lot of people make. All right? A lot of people make this mistake. So she said, according to her, she said that she feels like it happened like that. She was so upset because she didn't like Portia not caring about her being upset. She didn't like Portia not caring. So the fact that Portia was like, okay, girl, my bad, and went on like whatever, I guess she wanted her to like apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me get that right. I don't know what she wanted that girl to do. Personally, from the time I saw it, you felt as though you were above her, but you had an issue and you had some resentment toward the fact that she came from a family legacy, that there was an actual pedigree there. And I think she would have felt better if Portia had been like running behind her, begging for her forgiveness. And Portia was like, girl, it ain't that big a deal. My bad, whatever. I said the wrong one, whatever. And she said she was bothered because Portia didn't care. And then that she said that Portia embarrassed her, like, don't embarrass me. And she blamed Portia, and it was all Portia's fault. And when she said she was leaving, and she said, yeah, you can go be on the curb or whatever. But that ain't how I remember that. They both went back and forth. She didn't like what Portia said to her, but she wasn't very nice to Portia either. She was really out of pocket over that girl messing up your pageants. Like, the rest of the world is not like enthralled in the pageant life. Nobody really cares. And Miss America is the one we normally remember. Miss America, Miss Universe, the rest of that, nobody really cares. T Dollar is not Kenya. Now, T Dollar say, but even Portia had realized she got it wrong. She just completely brushed it off. What else was she supposed to do? Sing her a song or write her a sonnet about being sorry that she got it wrong? She brushed it off. She didn't care. Nobody, no normal person is really going to care about that. You're going to say, okay, my bad. Oh, well, and move on. So, yeah, Portia just found out a couple years ago that no one drove the train. Right. Now, all of a sudden, she's despicable me. That's not playing in your face. That's letting you know that what's important to you is not important to anybody but you. That's what that is. Well, it wasn't playing in Kenya's face. What it was is Kenya's face hit the floor when she realized that nobody cares about that but her. That's what happened. It was that reality check. Couture Bay said Kenya was mad at a lot of these women were living the soft life while her and Kandi had to work. Uh-huh. Right. All right. Take you some BC powder for that migraine, girl. Sharon said Nene made the show and opened doors. Unfortunately, she stood alone and mistakes were made. Yeah. Portia didn't care because it wasn't that deep. Right, Vet. It wasn't. It wasn't that deep at all. T Dollar, what you say? You say Portia is smart but ditzy at the same time. She knew how the world would perceive her if she played innocent. She didn't play innocent. She played I don't care. And I don't think she was playing. I think she really didn't care because I wouldn't have cared either. Cassie G says she didn't like the fact that she thought Portia was young and dumb, but had everything she wanted, the family, the husband. Right. That's what it gave. That's for dang sure what it gave now. Can we really tell the truth? Can we really tell the truth? It gave that. It gave that. Listen. Dambrielle says Kenya really has mommy issues and carried it into her adulthood, bitter and miserable for sure. Right, and Allie, Kenya embarrassed herself. She really did, and I think once she realized she went too far and embarrassed herself, she just, instead of trying to recover gracefully, she took the easy way out. I'm gonna just blame Portia and attack Portia every time I see her, and it was just a mess. Yeah, she definitely wasn't dumb when she dragged Kenya by her hair. When she slid her, she was not dumb. She was pissed. Nacho Twins mama say Kenya reminds me of the Cowardly Lion from The Wiz. Oh wow, not but my paw. Cynthia Gross said to me, Kenya resented that Portia was married and living the high life. I think I'm understanding that Kenya perceives disrespect and acts out when others simply make mistakes. That's what I was, excuse me, y'all. That's what I was saying earlier. I think that when she was explaining how she feels she's seen, that's what's going on. She will be offended at something where no one meant any offense, and she acts according to that. And then to her, it's like, well, don't you just see what she did to me? And everybody else looking is like, including the person she talking about, don't know what the hell she talking about. That's what is making her look, the way she's looking. True Wisdom says the minister Portia then and Perkin Portia. She wasn't a minister. She was married to somebody who was conservative. And what's the contrast? It's regular life. A lot of women get their freedom and go to having fun and they let it all hang out. Like, it's just get over it. It's just one of those things. You just have to get over it. I know I changed after my first divorce. Most women do. Sharon Haywood said, I'm with Portia. I ain't care either. Listen, Sharon, I got to call it for what it is. I got to call it for what it is. Like all that, I understand better after what Kenya said about how she's perceived and how she feels like she's perceived to what we're actually seeing. And it makes more sense. Like it really made more sense to me. Cynthia says, I think being a mother is showing Kenya that some of the things she said and did were a little over the top. Yeah, but that's growth. Like everybody grows. And I think it's unfair to hold somebody to their behavior from 20 years before. Like it's just not fair. She actually was, because Kenya wanted her to hit her. LOL. No, she wasn't dumb. That wasn't dumb at all to slide that heifer. She wasn't dumb. Kenya wanted to get a reaction. Kenya never thought in a million years that big Georgia girl was gonna slide her. She never saw that coming. She never saw it coming. Say when she snatched her up, that was it was one of the best reunion clips ever. I ain't never seen Portia preach nothing. I don't believe Portia has it in her to write a sermon. Say, but why nobody else gets the diagnosis? Only Kenya. What diagnosis? We talking about Kenya. This is a Kenya interview. Would you like for us to start just doing dissertations about random people when we talking about a Kenya Moore interview? And nobody gets a pass on this porch. So what you talking about, baby? You not that new. I know you don't be around that much, but you ain't that new. Couture Bay say that's why Portia stay winning. People like to play above Portia down deep. They watch her every move. I'm just saying. Say Portia has grown into a womanhood in front of the cameras. The others were older. Right. That's the other thing that they don't consider is that you have to grow. You have to grow. You have to grow. It's all about growth. Like nobody, if you the same person you were at 15, you need to be locked away. Dan Burrell say Kenya said Nene foreclosed on the house she built, but no one was able to keep them bills paid once the snakes had it. I guess Nene really is tumbling. It's really tumbling now. Yeah, they can't hold it together. They want to, but they can't. Oh, you was talking to the chat. Okay, baby. I'm about to say, like, why on earth? They on your neck. Well, that's because you in here trying to windmill for this crazy woman. But I understand you. You got a right to have your fave, honey. Shanna say Portia preached violence for a couple of seasons. She sure did with her left and her right hand. And y'all get up off T Dollar neck. Now, you know he told T Dollar say that they is team twirl. I don't know if that's a he or she. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But T Dollar said they team twirl now. Oh, she was a licensed minister. Well, that's nice. That's nice. She changed her mind. And quite frankly, I think it's a good idea. A lot of people running around with license talking about they preaching. God ain't called them. And if he ain't called you, please quit picking up the phone. I don't know who called you. That's right. We straight on the porch, baby. We real straight on the porch. You say once they snaked Nene, it came tumbling down. I feel you. Anita, hello, and my favorite color. I love it. Say Portia Dragon is still one of the top YouTube videos. She deserved the whole. Yes, she did, girl. Yes, she did. The whole drag. Couture Bay say I was here for telling the truth about RHOA. Yeah, she did. She did a good job. Hey, Tiffany J. I hate you missed it. Yeah, shout out to DeKalb County. Shout out to Decatur. So what happened to Portia being the activist leader? Well, I mean, did you expect that to be going on forever? What protests are there? Should she be making up protests at this point? So because she participated in something, she's not allowed to have her life. She has to run around looking for protests. Should she be somewhere in Nicaragua or Niger, or should she possibly be in Ukraine? Where would you like her to go? Don't be a weird Kenya fan. Don't be weird. True Wisdom say Portia wasn't an ordained minister and preaching. Okay, well, y'all said so. That's nice. I'm glad she stopped because I don't think God called her. I am. No, I'm going to send you yours to your phone. That's what I'm going to do, Dan Brielle. I got you. So I have my favorites, but I can admit when they're wrong. Me too. That's why I say, like, Kenya fans and Kandi fans, while I love to hear everybody's feedback, sometimes they get weird. Like, they get really weird with the people that their faves don't like. I agree with that, Gerard. I agree with that because Kenya was showing her behind at that reunion. Portia should have gave her a little bit more work. If she'd have did a little knee drop on her jaw, I wouldn't have been mad at that. I wouldn't have. Oh, my days. I'm glad you made it. Say now, no, she was making it seem like she was going to be who told you that? That girl ain't made no claims of that. That child ain't made no claims of that. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. But anyway, so moving past that, but it just made sense. It made sense. Of course, Kenya had to say, "Oh, I'm not jealous of her. I keep $1 worth of dimes." Like, girl, you already said that on social media. Repeating it again, it's just like, okay, come on, Kenya. Says she's not jealous of that. Child, the girl is beautiful. Don't be silly. You're a pretty girl, but she's beautiful. She's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, don't play yourself, Kenya. It's never cute. You played a lotto, never play yourself. Don't do that. And that girl got a shape that you couldn't even buy from the doctor. So don't do that. Okay. Carlos said he was absolutely fascinated by Kenya and Portia's dynamic on the show, and said that the whole time they was filming those two girls, that she still wasn't even official yet. So Bravo and Truly Original them, they was getting the butter from the duck from them girls. Said she didn't even become official until after Nene's event, when she made the comment about clowns, and she gave them the ultimatum. And she talked about how hard it was hearing those wait a minute, what you say, Buki? You say they reading Kenya for filth in the chat. I gotta fight back. Woo. Listen, this is not a safe place like that, honey. Your faves get tumble dried over here, tossed and tumble dried. It's rough on this porch when, if they got anything wrong with them. Sharon Haywood said here in Texas we call it, she opened a can of whoop a. Well, Kenya gave her the can opener. Trina Taylor say Portia is Andy's favorite. You see he didn't fire Portia, just demoted her, but he fired Kenya with a quickness. Well, Nene is the reason he didn't fire her. Like, can we really tell the truth and shame the devil? Let's not play. Say Portia is beautiful and still has what Kenya is still and continually is consistent. Say Walter, Matt, and Mark. Any convo about it? Yes, it was. I'm gonna get to it. Y'all won't let me get to it. Say Kenya is the biggest clown, the biggest, massive. So let me tell y'all what else happened. Good Lord, whew, it's hot. It's hot in here. So she said it was hard hearing the confessionals, hearing what people said about her in the confessionals. She said that when Phaedra called her alcoholic and mentioned something about her mama, said it was triggering for her because her mama had done that to her with the pageant lady, told him she was an alcoholic. She claimed she ain't never been drunk in her life. And because she felt like that Phaedra took what she confided in her to hurt her. I don't know that that's true. Maybe so, maybe not. What we do know is Phaedra didn't flip on you till you went, trying to cat around or flirt at her husband. So I have nothing to say about that. People love to forget what they do, but that's kind of what they do. But anyway, so then she went to talk about Cynthia's fashion show, where she was helping her get the girls, the whole coochie crack incident. Say Portia don't have her own money. Portia do have money. Portia ain't broke. And I know a Kenya fan ain't calling nobody broke. Now, we talking about your fave now. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. But I'm just saying, it makes sense to kind of consider the subject matter. But anyway, she was talking about the coochie crack incident, and she said she was so hurt because what they showed made her look like she was hey Tony Boo. So she claimed, you talking about Miss Summer Moore is paid. She got paid like everybody else, and Portia was getting paid just like her. That girl got her money. Kenya is selling hair care. Portia selling hair and sheets. They all making their money. I'm just saying, now let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a whole buck. Now, anyway, back to this. I'm just saying, consider the subject matter. I'm just a suggestion, because you got to survive in that chat. I'm not down there. So anyway, she claimed that she was hurt because she said what they showed made her look like she was being mean to young Black women. And she said she would never do that. That's not who she is. She almost had a mental breakdown after that and didn't want to come back and everything. Said she wasn't answering the phone. They say Joy had to go to her house to talk to her. And I'm just, for me, as somebody who was watching, if they showed the things that are coming out of your mouth, how did they show you in a way that you don't want to be seen? Or maybe I don't know what that was. I was trying to find a way to like make it make sense for her. I feel like maybe she didn't realize how what she said looked. Maybe she didn't mean it the way it came across, and they took it and they played it. They could have cut it out and they didn't. I'm not sure exactly how she meant that, but she said that it really hurt her because she's always, a fan of the beautiful black girls, and she just was so hurt that she ended up looking that way on camera. Catherine say, what? Portia has family money, right? It has certainly doubled it, right? She stay on the TV plus what she sells on the Amazon sheets and hair. That's Catherine. That's why I tried to say consider the subject matter. One came from money, one came from ghetto Detroit. Now that's all I'm saying. When you start with a head start, you could never finish behind. I'm just saying. I don't want to do that because this is her interview. We're giving her moment to put her story out. That's why, as the fans, like, don't be weird because, once we start getting into the truth of the matter, it might not sound nice. So she was talking about, that was really hurtful. She said, like, the fun stuff, like with Nene saying, "Ooh, child, the ghetto." She said, like, that was funny to her that she was in a 4-star hotel with two bedrooms, and she was across from the Fox Theater, and Nene saying, "Ooh, Lord, how dreadful, the white refrigerator." She said she could laugh at all of that. All of those things actually. So that was okay. The whole landlord thing, saying the lady wanted to throw her out. She said that was real. Say the lady was crazy. That was real. It really happened. So you really can't make this stuff up. And that she could deal with, but the way she was looking during that whole coochie crack fiasco, Lord, yeah, the chat is rough today. SFF say Kenya wasn't an open book when she started the show. She had to say something to keep her peach. That's true. Couture Bay says the man from 112 who was there said she was mean. Who was where? Where was he? Who we talking about? I can't track it, baby. You're going to have to tell me in the chat, baby. Anita says in my Nene Leakes voice, she said what she said and production showed it. I agree. I totally agree, but I was trying to find a way to understand why it hit her so hard. Portia has multiple streams of income. She just did a deal with Cindy Crawford. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, during the whole modeling thing. Oh, the guy from 112 was there, and he said she was mean to those girls. I believe it. I do believe it. I also believe that we have reality, and then we have Kenya's perception of reality, and whether it's entirely honest or not, we have to give room to the fact that she may actually believe some of the stuff she's saying, y'all. Shannon said we saw how mean and nasty she was at Cynthia's modeling open call. Yeah, she was something else. Everybody was talking, but I think it really hurt her because I don't think she realized that, and can we be honest about the fact that she was still fairly new to reality TV? A lot of people were, because reality TV was still, in its infancy itself, the whole genre. So I think that maybe she didn't realize that everything she said was going to be aired. Maybe that's what it was. But she said it really affected her. She said her and Portia made TV magic. It was very compelling. It was interesting to watch. She said her biggest challenge, of course, was Nene. Nene was unpredictable. You never knew which way she was going to come at you. She's like, she was the yin to the yang. She could be funny, crazy, a real friend. She's like, she misses having Nene there. She said Nene was a force, and you can't erase that. Said they had been friends and frenemies and all that. and said, when Carlos was like, "Do you agree that Nene built the house?" She said, "Yes, she built the house, but it was foreclosed on. She didn't make the payments." My thing is, okay, so who supposed to be making the payments now? Because it ain't you. It ain't you. Because y'all ain't paying nothing. At this point, somebody's over there with a wrecking ball, and they about to throw y'all bags out on the ground. Okay. Now, she had something to say about the season 5 reunion too. And I had to kind of go back and peruse a couple things to catch where she was coming from. Tony Booth said Kenya came on doing whatever to make sure she stayed on the show. So we supposed to feel sorry for her now? Absolutely not. Tony, you're right. And I'm not saying that y'all should feel sorry for her. I'm just saying, like, let's try to see it from her vantage point, just for the mere purpose of understanding, just to try to understand the lady. T Dollar say people love strong black opinionated men, but them strong black women gonna get it. I think Kenya has that boss aura everywhere she go, and everyone's not gonna like it. I never got boss from her. I never got boss from Kenya, not even for 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Kandi gives a lot of boss energy. Nene for sure gave big boss hog energy, but I never got no boss energy from Kenya. I got attention seeking. I got acknowledge me, see me. I got I'm grand, I'm fabulous. Don't y'all agree with me? I just need you to see it. I never got boss from her. Dan Brielle, I don't know who keeping the payments up. I think at this point, I really believe the wrecking ball is outside. True Wisdom say Kenya wasn't an open book, just open. Oh my. My love, DT. That's right. Like this video, get some food and drink. And speaking of food and drink, I'm gonna drop this link in a minute. I'm gonna make sure my people's got it first, and then we're gonna talk, okay? Because we ain't got too much longer for I'm gonna have to jet because I have not eaten anything all day, and I've been sitting up here sipping on whiskey. I probably shouldn't have been doing that. Yeah, Kenya definitely gives a glorified pick me. Definitely gives a glorified pick me. Silicone in a bottle. DT is back, y'all. DT is back. Say right. They about 20 days in on their 30-day notice on this shanty. Right. That's what it's giving. Yeah, twirl with the wind was always corny. I'm gone with the wind, fabulous. And she's up there stumbling and stuttering. It makes more sense now knowing that she was just giving all she could give because she was trying to get casted for this show. She was giving all she had to get casted. It makes more sense. I'm actually a lot more forgiving of the Gone with the Wind fabulous now. Okay. Anita said Nene was no longer required to make any payments on RHOA. That's the new tenant's job. You better tell it like it is, sis. Tell it like it is. So, season 5 reunion, she said she felt like everybody was against her, but she said she held her own. She tried to hold her own. She claimed that she slayed. She didn't. Carlos said he's upset that she has not been given the first chair. I think she deserves it over Drew Sadumi. Absolutely. I still don't understand that seating. But in my humble opinion, she don't deserve first chair this year. Kandi deserves first chair. I may not like Kandi. Kandi may bore me to death, but Kandi gave a lot more than a Drew Sadumi. Drew gave us a pack of lies that nobody asked for whatsoever. So they said that basically that first chair ain't got nothing to do with story. Kenya's like, Nene ain't had no story the last 3 years she was on the show. Nene was the story the last 3 years. The fact that all y'all used her for your storyline, that's why she was in that first chair. Because she gonna always be the story. Larga Curve says if Nene stopped making payments, then they are all squatting. Yeah, they are. They're definitely squatters. I like that. Definitely squatters. Katrina Taylor say they trying to call Portia dumb, but Kenya ain't holding no scholars. Child, she ain't bright. She's definitely not bright. They like to make her bright because she does that nasal voice. Well, hello, sister. Pretty Girl 1908. Welcome. I love it when the pretty girls show up. Shani says, did she have the first chair and acted a fool? That's why she got snatched up. She did have first chair that year, and then she had the first floor ever. Kenya says she don't audition for anything. She's offered the position and felt insulted. Yeah, she's like, why am I auditioning? Why? Uh-uh. Mm-mm. And Carlos even pretty much said, I know that's right. Hello, Soror. So she did say that when she talked to Joy, and Carlos kind of admitted, like, when I came in, I was, just delusional. She was thinking, is she crazy or delusional? And Carlos said Joy did kind of say that to me. So in all honesty, she kind of knows she's delusional a little bit, I think. So anyway, like I said, Nene was a story. She said basically she's trying to say she wants the same treatment as the heavy hitters. She wants to be treated like the Nenes, like the Giselles, like the Karen Hugers, like the Vickeys when she was on the show, like all the big girls. She want to be treated like them. And it's like you're not one of them. But it was cool, She said she wanted a spinoff when she was having the baby and it was denied. And she felt as though she was being punished for having that marriage private. She said the show kills relationships and she tried to be private because of that. She blames bloggers and fans for digging up dirt, and she says it's unfair. That one guy she was dating before he ever even got on the show, people dug up his mugshots. And so, I get what she's saying about it being unfair. I totally get it. I also feel as though she's blaming fans, but my dear, you're choosing to be a part of reality TV. And unfortunately, that goes along with it. With reality comes people wanting to know what is real. And in an effort to find out what is real, they may find some things that you don't want to be found. So, she can blame the fans and the bloggers and everything. But the truth of the matter is, this is par for the course. It's unfortunate. I don't necessarily do that to people, but a lot of people do because they want to know what is really real and what is not real. Okay. So I could dig what she was saying with that. She said, and it was really tough because, she met Mark. She thought he was the one. So she was trying to hide him from the cameras. This is what she says. Don't hit me because I'm just reporting what she said. She said, Mark, to add insult to injury, Mark didn't want to film at all. They were having to beg him to film. She said, and apparently, according to her and Carlos, she told nobody she was getting ready to marry this guy on the island. He says, I'm your real life friend, and I didn't know. She called and told him, and he asked her if the executives knew, and she said no, and he said that he wasn't going to tell them. That was up to her. Carlos also addressed that fist bump picture with her and him and said that yes, DT, she said she met Mark and she thought he was the one. I knew y'all was gonna start, but that's what she said. Now let me get through this. She said that and said that the fist bump thing, he said to him it seemed like it was nothing emotional or romantic about it. It was just a fist bump. She claims there's pictures of them kissing and being romantic, but that she has those. I don't know, but I can tell you a lot of us were talking about that fist bump picture, and it did look like an agreement between two homies. This didn't look like no type of marriage. And while they were together, we saw no chemistry. So I don't know. He asked her if she felt pressure to get married because, she was in this setting with this show and everybody is coupled up and she wasn't. He mentioned the couples trips and her having to go as being single. She said that wasn't the reason. She started making reference to Crazy Eyes. So I'm assuming that's Matt. But she said that, she had just broke up with him when she met Mark, and she said she prayed and prayed and still ended up choosing Mark. So I ain't gonna ask who she was praying to. Not my business. Not my business. But she said she met him through Chef Roblé, and she didn't talk to him at first, but she made the first move on him. So he never made a move on her. She made the first move on him. So I don't, we can all guess, but we'll never know what's really going on. We'll never know. Delightful by design. Hey girl. Michael Alexander says enjoying the last moments of his life with a glass of white wine. There you go. Shani says they were trying to be a bootleg version of Barack and Michelle with that fist bump picture. Is that what that was? Okay. Listen, I'm with it. I'm with it. Y'all giving her hell about that one, but she said she thought he was the one now. So right now, Carlos asked what's holding things up. Is this about money? She says that he wants her to pay his bills and some payment that she don't understand. But she was like, if it was just that, she would just give him the money. She should never. She already paid that man's back taxes. She shouldn't have to give him another dime. But that's just me talking. Okay. She said right now they fighting over the child and the TV appearances because he wants the child on his show, but not her show. And that he's pretending to be upset about Marlo kicking the door, and that she's claimed the man ain't seen the child in 2 years and 2 days. So I don't know. She said the show ain't ruined the marriage. Mark did. Then we get to this Walter situation. Now this was interesting to me. She says that she basically blaming Phaedra for Walter telling people about the fake relationship. She said Nene gave her the heads up, and I don't know whether she thought that was going to make Nene look bad. It did not. It made it look like Cynthia is a real old girl. Not Cynthia, but Nene is a real girl, because even though we might not be the closest girl, I'm going to give you the heads up. She said Nene gave her the heads up that Walter retained Phaedra, okay, as his legal counsel before he ended up snitching on her. She claimed he lied or whatever. And she said that people lie on the shows and rumors stick, and that Kandi gonna always be called a sugar mama. Well, it's not just because of the show. It's also because of that dude from Jagged Edge that she was dating that said that when you date Kandi make you feel like her money is your money. It's because of what she did with Block and this situation where she got some of his relatives working for her and she giving him money. The fact that you with Tadrika and Tadrika broke his Job's turkey and he can spend your money and you trying to spend it on his child too. We can go on and on and on. It's the reason why. It's a little bit to everything. Cynthia, she says, Cynthia being called weak with no backbone, that sticks. Cynthia is weak. She don't have a backbone. She might have a nasty mouth and be two-faced as hell, but she is weak and ain't got no backbone, because if you wasn't weak, you wouldn't be hiding your real persona behind a camera off the scenes and then get on the camera and try to act like a church mouse. It definitely gives weak with no backbone. And she said, look at me. Would I have to pay men in the real world? Probably not. But if you trying to have them come on a TV show and they dirt coming out and then you don't have the best personality, you would have to contract with somebody to get them to come on that show. You might. So that's what she said. That's it. That's all on that. And she says that he says, Carlos says part 2 will be on August 22nd. I can only tell you I'm going to have to pray real hard to see if I can watch this show, because if it's going to be anywhere near as boring as part 1, part 2 of this interview, I can't promise y'all that I'm going to make it. Like, that's really tough to me. That's really hard for me. Okay. It's just rough. So now let me tell y'all about what Miss Courtney had to say. Now, I'm not going to go through every little thing. I picked out the interesting parts. She bored me a little bit too. She seems nice enough, but she's not that, enchanting. Like, she just don't grasp your attention like that. DT, thank you for the super chat. Say, Kenneth Crunchy Cabbage Moore in this interview with Carlos doing the Oprah. You get a blame. You get a blame. Everybody gets a blame. You know what? She did do a lot of blaming, DT. Thank you for the super chat. She did. I'm trying to give her like a fair shake a little bit, because even though a lot of her behavior is reprehensible, I think I understand her a little bit more. And I have to say Carlos King did a good job in at least helping anyone who wanted to have a better understanding of her to have it. And I could dig him. He says she's misunderstood. I can see it. Ashley says Cynthia's a narcissist, switching personas like she Hannah Montana. Ooh, not Hannah Montana. Trina says Cynthia goes whichever way the wind blows. Does. Danbrielle said, I still don't think she married. I don't either. She reach out to Mark. She always come off desperate. Absolutely. Okay, I'm trying to keep up. Cynthia just need to sell them down there creams again. Oh Lord, I hope she never sell them down there creams again. That made me itch. All right, say please don't for your health. Catherine Bennett, I love you. Star says, thanks so much for taking these notes because it definitely saved me time. Listen, that's why I do it. And that's why I accept every margarita and daiquiri donation, because I be needing them after I sit through this horrible stuff to report back. Okay. Carlos tried with the interview, but not too much. More we know of Kenya, she's still delusional and conceited. Yeah, but we knew that. But at least now, for me, I'm with Yvette. She made me like her a little bit more. Just because I could understand how her mind works, even if she's wrong, I can see why she's going wrong in certain directions. It makes more sense to me. Yeah, Ashley, that is crazy behavior. And oh, she's selling 1,000 bags. What's 1,000 bags? Cynthia blows where her pancake brain flips. Oh, wow. So look, let me tell y'all what Courtney had to say. I'm going to go ahead and put the StreamYard in the chat. Danbrielle, I texted you yours. I don't know what you're doing because I sure texted it to you. I'm going to go ahead and put the StreamYard in the chat so y'all can say what y'all need to say, because I ain't staying all night. Not me and not the girl. I got to eat something. Okay, got to eat. So this is what she had to say, the highlights of this conversation, all right? She was basically like Martell and Sheree off camera. She done been around them. They fun. She don't think Sheree trying to do nothing long term. On Marlo and Scarlett, she's like off camera. They look fun. She just basically saying, long as they happy, it's cool. She don't really know nothing about their relationship, is what I gathered. She said with Kenya and Roy, she don't know nothing about it. She's like, she ain't really seen him except that time he popped in over there. And then she said that he showed up then because Monietta called him, not Kenya. And she was like, if that was my man, I would have been the one calling him, not my homegirl, basically. And she was like, and given Kenya's history, like, do you think it's real? And so the given Kenya's history tickled me after listening to Kenya's interview, because it's like, Kenya, everybody really does look at you sideways when men show up, especially when it don't seem real, because it probably ain't. But anyway, they were on Behind the Velvet Rope, okay? And even they kept referencing Nene's interview and asking questions. So now this is this cousin thing. So I was listening carefully. Y'all know I'm from the country. So I understand, you know, the dynamics of big families and all that stuff. So this is what she said. One, she found out they were related at Sonya's party because Ralph's publicist is one of her friends. Now, she older than him. She came up with one of the older cousins. So he grew up in the house with her daddy's sister's son, Jones. So, okay, her daddy's sister, so that's her auntie, at her auntie house with her cousin, Jones. Jones apparently was the younger child. She grew up in the same house at a different point with the older cousin, Amanda. Okay, she ended up, I think, Baltimore. He ended up moving into New Jersey. Highly possible, but you know, it just be that way. Them type of cousins, they ain't really, you know, we all know, those of us who are country, you are not necessarily the closest with those cousins, but if it come down to it between your cousin and a stranger, you still gonna take your kinfolk's side over the stranger, even though we ain't come up together, you know, whatever. We still blood, so it's all right. Okay, so she says they asked her about the divorce situation. She said she was not shocked, but she was shocked about the reason. But she wouldn't tell us what the reason is because she said it's going to come out on the show. She said that she tried to develop a real relationship with Drew, but she said it was challenging, probably because Drew kept lying. Then she said she started to experience some of the same things that she had heard the ladies talking about with Drew, but she didn't really get into what the things was that she was experiencing. Hey, boo, what's up?
Hey, so how you doing?
I'm doing good. Let me wrap this up on Courtney, and then we're gonna get into this real quick. I'm
Okay.
just giving y'all the highlights of what she said. So she said she started to experience some of the same stuff that the ladies had said about Drew, probably the line, but we don't really know. She said that according to Ralph, now this is hearsay, y'all. This is hearsay. She said, according to Ralph, they was on the verge of divorce when they first came on the show when they pulled that Tampa thing. And remember, I've been telling y'all from the get, I never believed that Tampa story. Apparently, it was a good reason. He was in Tampa because they was already on the verge of a divorce. They was splitting up or whatever, and that also the truth had been recorded, and that the producers or whoever they allowed her to go with the lie, and that Drew told him this was for TV, and so it was good for the storyline, so they went with it. Okay. And that she said watching the show, she thought Ralph was a bad person. She used the cuss word or whatever, but she said she thought he was a bad person. DT say, hey boo.
Hey.
All right. Hey Renee, you say you gotta go, you catch on the replay. All right, Renee, we love you. So but he went along with it. It was good for the storyline, whatever. But she thought he was a bad person too until she found out what the truth was. She said that Drew liked to self-produce her scenes. Ralph, she claimed Ralph loves and adores Drew. I gave her the side eye on that. Y'all take it how you wanna. She said that he loved her so much that he used to just believe whatever she said. Now he knows she be lying. She said that when Ralph was in Vegas, he was at a tech conference, and he even ended up going live from the tech conference. Said that the Chocolate City story was not real, and Drew knew it. Said that him and Drew had laughed about it at the kitchen table, like, oh yeah, I ought to go audition for Chocolate City. None of that ever really happened. She knew it was never a possibility at all. And Drew basically was over there in Portugal being dramatic, pretending like she was wound up about that in this $1,000 lawsuit that jumped up to $10,000 over something that wasn't even real. It was so unreal. It was something you and your husband actually laughed and joked about at the kitchen table. But you over there trying to disrupt what Sheree was saying, storming out, acting like you were so upset about stuff like that. And none of that even happened. Say Courtney, to me, I felt like Courtney was kind of teasing that Ralph was going to out Drew on some of her lies at the reunion. We'll have to wait and see. He said that she said that she had met Nene before and would love to work with her, but she don't really know her. She said that she likes the friend role because she's got more flexibility, and she said she could have been full time if she had had a man in her life. She said, but that didn't feel real to her, so she wasn't gonna fake no man. She said that she could have, she's like, well, I could have paid a man. I feel like that was definitely shade toward Kenya. She's the guy was asking out of her and Monyetta who should be full time. She said that Monyetta has a man. She's not sure why she's not full time. Girl, you know why she's not full time, because they help her put us all to sleep. She said that she's ready to work with anybody but Kenya. She said that she always supports underdogs, and she said that Kenya is mean, and she claims that she's even mean to production. I didn't know Courtney had a baby that was already out of school, but she said her baby got a psychology degree, and maybe she could help her understand Kenya. But she says that she responded to Kenya because Kenya had been poking and poking and poking. Now she did admit that she probably interjected herself in some conversations that wasn't her business, but she said especially when it came to Marlo, because she could see Marlo trying to just do her job and show up and work, and people just poking at her, picking and bullying, and like, oh, we gonna make you miserable. So she jumped in. Okay, so that's what had happened. Also, real quick, before we get to running our mouths, just so y'all know, Keke Palmer is gonna be an Usher new video boyfriend. When he said, I heard your boyfriend looking for me, thought y'all might want to know that. and we got two black fishes who are being clowned on social media as we speak. Whoa, Vickey, the white girl that pretends to be black. She says she's trying to act black. To me, it's like she talking like she's got a disability. Hey, Angie, what's up, Miss Miami? But anyway, she went on Baddies with Krishan and Natalie Nunn. Them she said because she wanted to spread the word of Jesus, not on Zeus Network on Baddies. But anyway, Krishan threw something at her. She called the police, and then apparently Erica Mena is very disturbed by Safari leaving her for that pretty dark chocolate girl. So now she's tanned herself until she looks like she almost my complexion. We didn't know who the hell she was on social media, and the churn is dragging her. Now, Dambrielle, what you got about all this stuff? What's going on?
Hey, girl, how you doing tonight?
Child, I'm all right. I got a few minutes. I got to eat something, but tell me what you think about all this.
About what about that interview with King? You know, Nene is the trendsetter, so they was gonna follow behind, but damn, she right behind, honey.
Right. That was a mistake. To me, I would have gave Kenya more credit than this. I would have thought she would have been smart enough to never go behind Nene. You
Right.
couldn't have paid me to go behind Nene. Not when this is all you got to offer.
And I said, I was just telling my girlfriend that it seems like Carlos is allowing them to create the narrative because it seemed like the cameras does not lie. You know what I'm saying? She was who she was at the Cynthia modeling audition. Like the cameras didn't make that up. She is a mean girl. She's trying to clean it up, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What
I
else?
believe that too, because I believe that Carlos is her friend, so I
Hmm.
think he wanted to give her room. Like, do you want to try to clean this up, make it look a little bit better? And
Right.
she tried. I don't know. I had some compassion for her. I did.
Yeah, I mean, I did say that it made me like her a little more than I did, like
Slightly.
right,
Slight.
just a little, just a little bit, she
Right.
still is Kenya, but at the end of the day, she tried, she tried. The part two, I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring Nene up more, you know what I'm saying? Because Nene named the only thing that makes them go viral, so
Yeah. At this point, if they don't say her name, ain't nobody watching. Hell, we falling asleep.
right,
But the truth of the matter is, I'm telling you, for me, the part that got me was hearing her thought process
right,
of, she feels as though she's reacting. I'm not saying she's accurate in that, but she feels like that's all she's doing is just reacting. She don't realize that some of the stuff she's offended by is only in her head.
right.
And I've been there. So that really made me have some understanding for her. But on the flip side, baby, you 50.
Mm-hmm.
You 52 at this point. You gotta know. You know what I mean? Like, you have to
Right,
grow. You can't still be the same girl you were at 25.
right. And she always saying, I don't mean to cut you off, but she always saying like when she tried to put Nene name in the same category as being a clown. Like when she went to Nene thing, it was that clown shit. You know what I'm saying? And everything she does is clown shit. Kenya Moore hair care marching band when she came in there with the butt pads on, trying to be Phaedra. All
Yeah,
that is
it's
clown
always
shit.
clown stuff. It's never, yeah, it's never sophisticated. It's always real low budget ghetto clown stuff. You right.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You was the biggest clown. You did the biggest clown shit possible. You know, at,
Yes.
at all times. So, I just was saying that, like it did humanize her a little bit to me, far as what her mother, the tears was so fake though, girl. But
The tears the tears were extremely fake. And Dambrielle, that's why I did not get into all that stuff about her mama, because I don't know what's true. I don't.
right. The
I
mom
don't know
ain't
what's
never gonna
true.
come forward and speak at all.
Yeah, and she shouldn't. That lady has no obligation to come to the public to defend something that may be complete poppycock. So
Right.
I'm not willing to attack that woman and then find out later that every bit of it was a lie. I'm
Right.
not doing it. I'm
Hmm.
not.
Yeah. I just said, Carlos gave her a chance to clean up her act, and then why she's Portia, honey, she's always gonna have it out for Miss Portia, It's just that it's Kenya and Portia Kenya wanna be so much better than the ladies. That's how she treat Marlo now. Like Marlo is not good enough to sit at the table with her, or her and Marlo shouldn't be in the same conversation. She
Mind you, she forget Marlo was there before her.
Yes, girl. And
That's the
Marlo,
part that she forget. Marlo
right.
was there before her. Not to
Uh-huh.
mention the fact y'all both started couch surfing. That's where you started, because
Right.
whatever your situation was, it was grandma house, then the other grandma house, and
Yeah.
all these other things. Marlo started where she started. Y'all both got to the same place. Now, if you
Right.
took a different route than her, it doesn't make you better than her.
Right.
It
Yeah, you
just
right
doesn't.
about that.
But Kenya wants to be better than somebody, and I think that's rooted in the fact that she had some inferiority issues because of her beginnings. So I
Right.
think that now she desperately wants to be like, oh, now I'm the one. Now I'm better than
She's the it
somebody.
girl. Yes, she's
Yeah,
the
and it's
it
like,
girl.
baby, you're not.
And
You're
they're
not
just
sure.
none of them is the it girl. Oh my god, girl. Don't get me started on that. But none of them is the it girl.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even pull 1 million views, child. So
Can't.
yeah.
None of them.
They so played, and they do need Nene back though. They definitely need Nene back because now they're going from show to show, telling Nene, "Come on back, girl." Trying to tell them people, "Bring Nene back," because they know if Nene don't come back, they finna be jobless. Okay.
Okay, that. Listen, that's why you hear all of them saying, "Oh, I would love to work with Nene." I bet you would.
Yes,
Tony
they
Book,
are.
all of them saying it. Kenya too talk about, not Kenya, but Candy too talk about. Yeah, I want Nene back. Yeah, yeah, you do. You
Yeah,
do. We
since
know
she
you do.
Candy talking about since she talking so much, she in every conversation. That's the only way y'all go viral if you talk about Nene, or if
Thank
Nene say something to
you.
y'all. Nene ain't even on the show, and she their storyline in any interview they do. Girl, like yes, they need Nene back
They
because they
can't
finna
talk.
be
It's
jobless
been,
because they gonna do a new era, huh?
listen, it's 2 weeks later. They still talking about that interview. Still talking about it.
Yes.
And of course, they wanted to come back. It's not because she's talking. It's like, dang, this girl did an interview on the internet, on the
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, and got more views than we got on this show with a darn network. You need her back. It's not just that you want her back. You need her back. Tony
Within
Booth say,
days, honey.
look
Every
what Tony Booth say, girl. Talking about, trust me, she gonna do something soon to let that little bit of light go away. We can we keep the little bit of light for Kenya, please? Say not
uh-huh.
y'all call Kenya ghetto and mention Marlo. The difference is Marlo doesn't hide her ghetto. Kenya thinks she can hide the ghetto
She's
behind that
fake.
nasal.
Kenya's fake.
She,
She came
yeah,
from the
she's,
same ghetto, girl. She came from the ghetto just like Milo
thank
came from the
you.
ghetto. And
But
she
this is
tried
the
to say it in the
thing.
interview to make to try to seem like she can look eye to eye with a ghetto girl. But y'all constantly tries to downplay Marlo like she's not good enough. Not only Kenya Candy, all of them does it to Marlo.
Yeah, they try and fail miserably. The difference is Marlo is who she is and don't hide. Kenya is ghetto
Right.
as a Mexican food stamp, and will sit up there and think
Uh-huh.
because she talks with that nasal voice like that somehow that washes away the ghetto. You still a hood booger, and I see you.
Her intelligence. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to quote JT Money because I'm real Florida too, but a Negro know about
Right.
you, and we know a dollar bill will bring the whole at you. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
Fifi say pursuing men and paying for a relationship. No, ma'am. Yeah, I
Yes,
wouldn't do
girl.
it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, she's trying to make like she ain't do all this stuff. But anyway, girl, have you seen Miss Nene last night? She killed it, honey, with her green on. Pulled up. Nene is such the it girl, okay? Always and always will be.
Always,
Yeah.
always,
I
always. I want Nene to just get past whatever she's got going on with these people,
right.
and just have her own show. I don't want her to ever go back to Bravo. I don't want her to help these people. I want them to all fail because they.
I kind of want her to come back. I'm sorry to
I
cut you up.
don't.
I kind of
I
want her to
want this
come
show to
back.
get canceled.
Yeah, because the reason why I want her to come, I want them to say that the best ratings they will have if they do a season called the Healing Season. I think they should have Nene and Andy a real conversation on Watch What Happened Live, and bring it into the show with the girls. really facing some issues. Kandi and Phaedra facing one another, all of them facing Nene, how they backstabbed her. So I think they should do a healing season. I think it would really do good, and it would show the world that it's okay to forgive and move on. You know what I'm saying? It would be good, I think.
I can dig it, but I'm an Aquarius, honey. We don't do we not good with forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want her to come back. I want them heifers to keep wallowing in what they're wallowing in. I want them to suffer and die like a cockroach on hot pavement. I do not want them. I don't want her to throw them a lifeline, a life raft, a life jacket, nothing. Let them
Mm-hmm.
hoes drown.
Let the shit sink, honey. Let the shit
Exactly,
sink.
because think about it. They were all on board with helping them clear people against Nene. They wanted her to fail
Yes.
so bad. That lady has gone through hell and she's still standing tall and she still
Yes, Lord.
outshine you without being on your show. Now you
Yeah.
want her to come back to save your neck? Nah, hooker. Drown.
Uh-huh. And then you
Drown.
see, I don't know. See, I ain't been catch you. Have you touched in on the Bethany stuff, girl? You see how now they want to listen to people because the Caucasian woman is speaking out about it. But
That's
this is
the
the
only
same
reason.
thing. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
the same. Yeah, I'm just saying, amen. You're right. Same
Uh-huh.
thing.
Yes, this the same thing Nene been complaining about. I truly wish they just make Nene home. Whole, vindicate her and let her move on. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, because it's just they just did her so wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You still there? Oh, hello, Dambrell.
Last
What
night.
happened? Okay,
What
go
happened?
ahead. No, I couldn't hear you for a second. It might have been my computer. Now, what you were saying? Say it again.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, Nene looks better than she ever looked, honey. She looks happy, she
Girl,
looks
that heifer
good.
bad.
Yes, she is, honey. Pulled up last night in that Money Green, baby, to the concert, shut it down. All she got to do is skip it on the internet, honey, and they talk for a couple of weeks about her. You know.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what you call a star. That heifer can't go nowhere without bringing the cameras out, bringing the crowd out, bringing the paparazzi out. And it's like as much as I love it, as much as I love to see it, as much as I enjoy seeing her on my screen, like
Mm-hmm.
she's the reason I ever watched that show. She was the first lady like herself that I'd ever seen on TV.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us real girls, we saw her and was like, dang, they let somebody who act like us on TV. It
Yes,
was
girl.
exciting. It was
Mm-hmm.
that was a moment in
Yeah.
Black. Black had a moment when Nene showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And
When she
so it
showed
was,
up and showed out, girl.
but the thing is, Bravo has not allowed another real girl on their show.
Mm-mm.
Not like that. No. Uh-uh.
They couldn't control Nene. They couldn't control how famous Nene was, and I honestly believe that they were getting jealous. They just did her so, girl. I could go on and on about how they think Nene didn't know her worth. Okay, and once she started speaking up about it, and everything Bethany is saying is what had been saying forever. You know what
Of
I'm saying?
course.
So
Well, I
yeah.
mean, but what did you think about the fact that during this interview, Kenya was sitting there and she was like, "Well, they were protesting big. The whole team, the whole cast was on strike because of Kim Zolciak and her getting preferential treatment, which is the exact same thing that Nene said. But when Nene said it, they all tried to pretend like, oh, she's just bitter.
Right. I feel like Kenya was really being a little bit too honest about the network. You sure she ain't got no beef brewing up with them because she was saying
Mm-hmm.
some things that you wouldn't think someone that's in a contract with the network
Hello.
will speak truth to power. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
said that, but all of them getting bold now because them clear people started talking. When Nene was talking, they all sat with their hands in their pocket and was over there shucking and jiving for Bobo and Mr. Charlie. Now that's what they was doing. Now all
right.
of a sudden, everybody got a pair of brass balls. Everybody got so much to say.
Yeah, cause she know they finna cash. You see, they finna shut them people up so fast, honey, with some money, and get that moving along. Because it might be a big hit to Bravo if Bethany and them keep moving forward with this. Because the way that they're saying it's like multiple people is coming forward. So yeah, Kenya probably see shit. These people finna cash out and they ain't even gotta work for it by telling the truth, and they should have been did that. You know.
Yep, all they had to do was stand with their sister and not put a
Yeah.
knife in their back.
They would
But
have had more
between
money in the
but
end than
between
worked it
her
for.
and Kandi Cruz,
Yeah.
and if you
Hmm.
ask me, Portia too,
Hmm.
they
But
all
Portia kind of
back
came
there
to her
being
senses because Nene
cowardly.
really stuck it out for her when she dragged. They was going to let Portia really go. So Portia
I
looked like
know.
Portia was on board with them at first, but she came to her senses like, I can't do this to Nene. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
you can.
she was on board with them. And remember, Kandi was mad.
Yes, yes.
Kandi
Candy
was
was
pissed
very
off.
upset.
Like,
Remember,
girl,
she
we
was
had
like,
a
"Oh,
plan, and
Portia
you up
went out
here.
to Nene. Portia went out to Nene talk about, oh, I miss you. You met. Oh, Candy was hot when Portia
Yes,
said that to Nene. I need you because Nene is a good person. You know what I'm saying? And
yes,
you
she
anybody
is.
can see that. You know, it's that you can see that them girls created that alliance and came full force at this woman, and she's still standing tall. As you said, she's standing tall. Look, the best that she have ever looked, and I always say more power to you, sister, because you know I used to run up to the lounge often and have a good time.
I know.
You
But now
understand?
here's the thing. This is the thing that's so interesting with that. It's the fact that they had an alliance. It was facts. It's just it is what it is. And when Nene said it, oh no. Now they're actually trying to accuse Sheree, Marlo, and Sonya being in an alliance. And it's like, girl, stop the bull. Y'all were trying to team up and you wanted them to help you team up against Marlo. And you're
Uh-huh.
pissed because you don't have the numbers to team up against her because they over there friend in their own little friend group.
They can't do, girl. That shit is so played out and ran through and ran over, honey. They need to. They either Sweet 16 gonna be OG reunion or a new era because what these people is bringing to the show, baby, is nothing. Okay,
Absolutely nothing.
these
And you
people
know what
got.
else I think? What else
Uh-huh.
I think, boo? I feel like the 16 need to be the farewell season. That's what I think.
Uh-huh.
It need to be the farewell. Now, for the farewell, if they want to let some OGs walk through, show their face or whatever on the way out, fine and dandy. Because I'm still trying to figure out why are we looking at Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey? What is she there for?
Oh, is she even dressed so old now? You
Girl,
know,
what
she
now?
had. Oh yes, but I said, "Well, Cynthia, damn, what is child? Oh my God, the fashion. Oh Lord, they girl, don't even get me to talk about their fashion and
I
braids
couldn't
to the
even.
back.
Let me say this though. I can't bother Cynthia about her clothes. Dambriel, I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, now whether you be cool or come out of a bag on me, I can't bother Cynthia about her clothes because there's a young lady on there by the name of Drew Sidora. And as long as she is there with the stuff she wearing, Cynthia gonna get a free pass from me. Hell, at this point, Giselle might get a free pass.
Girl,
Did
oh
you
my
not
God,
see?
anytime you give a Giselle a pass, you gotta be bad off, okay?
Yes. Listen, Drew Sidora dressed so bad,
Girl, that confessional,
Giselle
I
about to
hate
get a
it.
free pass
That
from me.
confessional she got with that mohawk girl and them bamboo earrings on, and that.
When she
Oh my God, them girl. I said, girl,
listen that Joe Dirt wig on, the one where she in the zebra with that
yes.
mullet,
Oh my God.
party in the front, business in the front, party in the back. And then she had that mental health retreat Sunday, and this heifer up in there in a snake print crop top
Mm.
with drawstring pants hiked up like old man Withers. She had on a sweater net coverlet with feathers on the collar and a Gucci fanny pack. I say your whole outfit looked like you just ran through your grandma and auntie in them closet and then took one piece from everybody and had
Oh
on a
my
pair of
God.
white sneakers. I said, what the hell this girl got on?
Yes. Oh my, it's just bad. It's just so bad. They just don't have they just like I did understand what Kenya Carlos said. It was a privilege to get on the show back in the day. Now, girl, they is just throwing anybody that's willing to that raise their hand and say, I'll come on and film. I'll come on and film because these girls have they have nothing going on. No fashion, no girl. They was ordering food in Alabama, child. I just recap this stuff. They at Alabama, honey, they were standing on the corner waiting on Uber Eats. Do you understand what I'm
Yes,
saying to you?
sir.
Okay.
But this is
They
the
was
thing, right? I said it before, and I agree. Nene said the same thing. That's what really made me think, like, okay, I'm not being paranoid and crazy. I feel like the network has watered this show down on purpose because once they used the black shows to build up the network, they no longer wanted those black women to be the face of that network. So they
Mm-hmm.
wanted those clear shows to do better. So they
Right.
intentionally watered it down. They intentionally brought on clowns like Drew Sidora. They intentionally brought in people like Yarn Yetta and Toyota Forever with nothing, just water.
I
They
believe that.
wanted it to be nothing so that those
Mm-hmm.
clear girls could look better. Kind of like what the music industry is doing now. They're telling the black girls they need to sing, don't sing so well, lighten it up so other people can keep up. Meanwhile, they're trying to make the clear girls that sing sound more like black girls. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
see the agenda. That's
Right.
why I want Bravo to fail. I want them to fail so miserably. I
Well,
want
but
Rachel A gone. I want Potomac to be next,
mm-hmm.
because once all the black girls are gone, let's see how y'all hold up.
Mm-hmm. Look like Bethany finna take them down. I ain't gonna lie. I'm rooting for. I don't
I
want
hope
to
she
see.
get them.
She is, cause she's getting them, honey. See, she got the money to keep up with them. I'm not saying Nene broke or she don't got the money, but I feel like Nene dropped that
They would have
lawsuit.
came at Nene much harder.
Right, right. It was just, it would have been, I think it's good that Nene fell back and let go, allow this to play out, which I don't know. I don't like, no one told me this. This is my own opinion of this. I don't know Nene personally or having conversation with her about this. It's just my personal opinion about this, that, it looks like, Bethany finna take them down though. It really do.
Well, listen, I'm all for it. I just want them down. And like I
Hmm.
said, after Nene's interview, when she made it plain, she was like, "Hey, Bethany can say things that I can't say. If I say the exact same things, they coming after me."
Right.
So I agree. You let somebody get the ball across the goal line. If
Hmm.
everybody is coming for you on the snap, then pass the ball to the little guy that nobody's watching. Allow him
Right.
to get across,
Hmm.
because whether we like it or not, black women, we're seen as a threat.
Right.
They
And
see
I,
us as a threat, and not in the same way that they see black men as a threat. When it comes to work, when it comes to education, when it comes to corporate America, to business, black women are viewed as a threat.
But it's just
Okay,
like black women have it
and
so hard.
so
Period.
and because black women are viewed as a threat in these environments, they see us as the target is on our backs. The minute they
Hmm.
see your black face, black woman, the target is there. So she was absolutely correct in her assessment that Bethany can say what she can't and actually survive and live to fight another day.
Hmm.
Allow her to get that ball across the goal line, because the ultimate goal is to make Bravo pay for their misdeeds, to
Right.
make sure that there is recompense for their behavior. And if
Hmm.
Bethany can get that ball across the line, pass it to her.
Yeah.
Give the ball to Bobby Boucher. Let him get it across the line.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. And it still look good, honey. Soon as she put a picture up of anything, baby, she the talk of the week. She
That's
shuts
all
them
right.
down all anytime. She just definitely the it girl. So yeah, Kenya then did her little interview today, and part two come out next week. It wasn't too bad. Like I said, it kind of made me that she could have kept them little fake ass crocodile tears, girl. And
Yeah,
and
I
that
didn't know why we had to hear about her mama. I was like, Lord, this again.
and she did say she approached Mark. You know what I'm saying? Because this is
Yeah,
what this
I
is why I
said
feel
that.
like her marriage is not working, because all her relationships is not working, because she need to allow somebody to she need an organic relationship. Something just happened at the spur of the moment, or someone find her. She want a relationship so bad that she comes off desperate and accept anything. And this is why, because on television, honey, it seemed like Mark just never liked her at
He
all.
never liked her. That's what it looked like.
Yes. It seemed like he never liked it. He had, and she talked about that's why she got married and kept it off the camera, because when you bring it on camera, basically she just should have said, when you bring it on the camera, you're going to see his true self, that he really doesn't like me. And I didn't want the
Mhm.
people to see this, because the man did nothing good by her every time they filmed.
Well, I mean, he wasn't dogging her. He just, every time she lied or said something stupid, he checked her.
It wasn't even about him dogging her. It was just that his authentic feelings showed that, honey, I don't even like you. So it really does look like it was arranged everything. Like, he just,
It really did.
there was no romantic nothing about them. You know what I'm saying? No, nothing. They're the walking, holding hands, coming into the place. Anytime he agreed with everybody but her. Like
But here's the thing. We could say that, but can he be blamed? If she was in the wrong, was he supposed to agree with her? Because I remember very clearly during that season, Portia and Kandi both was like, even if I'm wrong, my man gonna stand. That man ain't supposed to like back you in no wrongdoing. If he care about you, he should pull you to the side and be like, "Now, baby, that ain't right." But nobody's supposed to back you when you're wrong. Like I never got that, and it was the fact that Kenya didn't understand too. I think that I do believe they had an arrangement, but I also believe, because two things can be true at once, I also believe that Kenya really wanted that man to like her. I think that Kenya, because she didn't have a mama like right there, and grannies don't always talk like mamas talk,
Right.
So nobody was there to explain to her that men don't like messy women.
Right.
Being messy ain't never got you no man. So it's like when men see you, doing little sneaky, nasty, dirty stuff, being, shysty for no reason. I'm inviting everybody but this person and all this stuff. Men don't like that stuff. They hear you talking bad about people, they don't like it. They hear you lying, they don't like it. Being messy ain't never got you no man. But she didn't have a mother like right there on her hip, like, all right, now, girl, listen, if you want to get it, this is what you do. You're going to go in there, you're going to cook some cube steak, make some 30-weight gravy, some rice. You're going to cut you some onions up in the gravy, all right? You're going to fry some cabbage. You're going to make some hot water cornbread. You're going to do this and shut the phone off. Don't even let him hear you on the phone talking to nobody. That way he ain't got to, that way he can't draw no conclusions.
He can't judge, right.
Right. But wasn't nobody telling her how to go ahead and, work her mojo. So she didn't know what to do.
She don't know. She doesn't know what to do when it comes to a man, She comes out very desperate, even with this new man that she's bringing on this season. It seems like, oh my God, da 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 da. Let him. You gotta let a man like and love you more than you like and love him, honey. And that's what the problem is with Miss Kenya.
Yeah, because there's no reason. Like, I don't care what you think about a personality. The girl is not ugly, so it's like, hey, girl. Yeah. It's just a matter of not knowing how to, seal the deal. You pretty get them through the door. Some got to keep them there.
Well, that's the problem. That's what she think pretty is everything, and as she see is nothing. If your personality
in all fairness, can we be fair? Right. Now I know, and the Lord know. Pretty black girls are everywhere. When God made black women, He was showing off.
Mm-hmm.
He act like he ain't had nothing better to do than to just make a bunch of pretty heifers, because that's everywhere. I done gave birth to a couple of them.
Right.
We got pretty black girls by accident. You can go to the average projects and you'll see a whole lot of heifers that look like straight up beauty queens with $12 rent.
Mm-hmm. Should be in the Jet magazine, honey.
Thank you. We got pretty girls everywhere. Pretty is only so much.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Pretty might get a Negro through the door.
Right.
Pretty might get a man through the door. But you got to have something of substance to hold him there if he's worth holding. Because some of them ain't worth holding either. But y'all know what I'm saying. If the man is worth holding, Pretty will get him through the door. You got to have something to hold him there.
Well, he damn sure wasn't worth her, because the first time he would have said anything out of line and disrespectful to me on national television, honey, that's when she should have been reading the motherfucker, okay? She should have been reading his ass instead of being submissive to him, honey. She should have been giving him a piece of her mind. That negative energy that she was giving to them girls, she should have been giving to that nigga that was dogging her ass.
But no, that ain't how things go either. Not if you're a wife. That ain't how it go. It's not going to be every day that your husband knows how to behave. It's not. Sometimes wives know how to be quiet and to pray. Because sometimes when you try to meet your husband with that same aggression that he meeting you with, all you're going to end up with is a bunch of arguing and mess in your house. If the man is worth his salt, you can choose to say, you know what? I'm going to let him have this and I'll deal with him later. And you can go in your prayer closet And you can talk to him about it later. And if that man is worth anything, he's gonna say, you know what? I thought about it. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I flew off the handle. You know what I'm saying? Women know how to keep peace in their house,
But
and
he
it's not
ain't never
always.
did that,
But I
girlfriend.
know that. But I'm just saying,
He ain't never did that to her.
I
He
don't want
never.
the
He
young
was so
girls.
mean to her.
I know, but I don't want the young girls listening to get the impression that the way you behave as a married woman is going head to head with your husband. That ain't it. That's not how you keep a peaceful house at all. However, that man wasn't worth keeping. He wasn't worth his salt. I'm just saying,
No.
in general, Kenya just, she could do so much better than the likes of a Mark Daly.
Mm-hmm. She gotta just let it come natural. She just
Let the
gotta
man
fall.
find you.
Yes, that's what she need to let a man find her. Someone that I said like and love her more than she like and love them. I
Right.
guarantee it'll be a lot better.
Let the man, all this going to find a man is how you get into mess. Don't go finding nothing. Let the man find you.
I agree. I
And then
totally
and
agree.
then and then don't agree to everybody. Don't accept every man that come finding you.
Right, because that comes off. That's why she comes. Her and Sheree both. It's they have a poor taste of men. You know.
And Sheree is another nice looking lady, but she just,
Beautiful,
I
beautiful
don't
body,
know.
cold body, bad. She
You
just
heard what she say, old and cold.
girl, and that new
Destiny,
face
I
on.
gotta keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real, Destiny. I don't want y'all to do that. If you mess around and find an actual man, and in 2023, actual men are hard to find. It's a endangered species. But if you run across one, I don't want y'all to run them off trying to be He-Man in your house. Like, stop doing that. Don't do that. But
Uh-huh.
at the same time, make sure that if a man approaches you, that he's actually worth your time. Make sure that he actually honors God first and honors you. Make sure that he ain't gonna put his hands on you and treat you like a punching bag down to the gym. Make
Uh-huh.
sure that he pays his tithes, his taxes, and he pay the bills around the house. All that stuff, you got to check them out. You don't just accept everybody that come to you. You got to check them out.
Right. I
Check them
agree.
out. Make sure you don't accept no mess.
Mm-hmm. You better
Don't do
say it,
that.
sister.
It's the truth. Don't accept no mess and then come crying to us later, because ain't none of us finna catch no flights to help y'all whoop nobody. Hey, Michelle Hemmings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just came in. Did you discuss Kandi and talk about Phaedra? She don't owe Phaedra no conversation.
Oh yeah, I had mentioned that. She blaming the girl, talking about that she delayed her liquor license because she was friends with somebody down there. You don't know that girl did that at all. And if
No,
she
and
did,
saying that stuff like that, trying to slander that's what you call. See, this is what I'm saying.
slander,
Kandi throws the rock and hide her hand, honey.
sure
That's
do.
she's clearly trying to slander this girl character as an attorney and whoever working in that office. She don't have no proof of that, so she should not be speaking upon that. I agree. You
Yeah,
know.
she shouldn't be saying that, but that's how Kandi is. Kandi is a nasty one, like Nene said, throws rocks and hide his hands. But not
Yeah.
only that, when she talks about everything that went on and basically Phaedra repeating the rumor that she heard,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what she did, repeated the rumor. Ain't nobody did nothing to you. And she mad because Phaedra never apologized to her. Apologized for what? If she heard a rumor and repeated, what the hell did she do to you? And number
Right.
two, you, Kandi, allowed her ex to stow his stuff at your house. Baby,
Yes,
you
Lord.
already let her know that you wasn't down for her. So what loyalty do she owe you after you do something that dirty?
That's right. Don't forget about sending that mama up there with the scarf and the stuff to the lawyer office
Yeah.
in disguise. Remember all of that? Candy talking about she didn't know her mama was gonna do that. Remember all that? You know?
Yeah, I remember that. So of course she knew Joyce was doing that. She was fine with it. Kandi,
Uh-huh.
like, it's just like Nene said. She throw rocks. She hides her hands. That's what that helper does now.
I totally
Mm-hmm.
agree, girl. Yeah, she talking about she don't face no conversation. She's the cause of the demise of this show. You can see now what it
Yep.
really is. And at the end of the day, Kandi was not what they thought she was. You know, everything Nene said was just so real and so true that
It was true.
that they wanted Kandi to be the star when they brought her in season 2. She's not the it girl, you know. And I don't have a problem with Kandi. I just don't like the way she operates. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the way she sent her mentions out there to do all her dirt and stuff and try to slander the things that they did to Nene. I sat there and watched it from because I've been watching since day one, honey. So, you
Right.
know, I done seen how it went down. So yeah, back to her and Phaedra conversation they do she talk about Phaedra ain't never apologized. You ain't give her a chance to apologize. But have you apologized for doing her like that? That girl was going through turmoil while you and your husband was over there supporting her husband and you was pretending to be as her friend, like you said, storing his stuff. She's just low down to me. She
She's
plays
a
very
very
good.
low down person.
Yes,
She
she is.
is. But
And
let me say this.
mhm,
She was saying that, still referring to Nene's interview. Like I say, 2 weeks later, they still talking about what Nene said during that interview.
mhm,
Do I think it would have made great television for them two to have a sit down? Absolutely. But the biggest question is, while she's going on this tirade and cursing and slandering this lady, she ain't heard Phaedra, or has she heard Phaedra say ever that she wanted to sit down with her? You
mm-mm.
saying that as though Phaedra dying to sit down with you. Phaedra ain't even said your name.
Right.
You keep
And Phaedra
mentioning
don't
Phaedra.
even respond to
Phaedra
her,
name
honey.
keeps falling out of your mouth. No matter what Nene said, Phaedra ain't said a goddamn thing. Phaedra going on about her business.
Right. It's
Phaedra ain't studying Kandi. Kandi
right.
sitting over there still bitter about Phaedra. And I think you mad
Uh-huh.
because you couldn't get your lick back. She told some stuff that you didn't want her to tell, and you couldn't get your lick back, and you
Uh,
wanted to be able to end her, and you couldn't, and she's still booked and cashing checks.
right.
And it's nothing you can do about it. She's still on the exact same network that you wanted to get her off of. You don't have the juice.
Right.
And so now you resorted to slander that she did something to keep it, to delay your liquor license. Girl, get a life, get a clue.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and she ain't got no proof of that. So that's what I'm saying. She's wrong for doing that. And the people probably doing investigation looking into well who's allowing Phaedra to do that to somebody. You know, who's working here that's an inside source, you know. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't believe anybody did anything to Kandi. I think that bureaucratic red tape is just that bureaucratic red tape. And because things didn't go the way she wanted it to go, she wanted to blame somebody. And so she did.
Because she was doing dirt herself already. So she felt
Yeah,
like
she do her dirt, like you say. So she naturally assumed that Phaedra would do it too, because she, hell, I would have done it to you.
right. Uh-huh.
Hmm. Well, look,
What
I'm finna eat, but you have any final thoughts about anything we talked about?
No, I enjoyed talking with you tonight. You know, I was laying here and I seen you pop up. I came in a little late, but you know, I just want to shout out my YouTube channel if that's okay with you.
Help yourself, you family.
You know, it's Lifestyle Envy up there on the screen. You know, they can go over and subscribe whoever if they like to hear a little bit of gossip and talking a little mess. You know, having a little cocktails, girl. You know how I do.
I know that's right. Y'all go subscribe to Lifestyle Envy. But yes, I'm glad you came through. You knew I wanted you up. I texted it to your phone. Come home.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I'm gonna come on and chat with you, and anytime you want me to come on and chat with you, it's no problem. I enjoy talking.
Everybody welcome. I'm glad you came to talk to me. The rest of them try to make me read all night long. Won't nobody hit the link. I won't say that. Couture will come hit the link sometime. A few of them will talk to me. But sometimes they be busy. They out here chasing men and stuff. They ain't got time for me.
What you got? I see. What you been on for 2 hours?
Going on 3.
I
That's
see,
where I'm
girl.
finna go.
Oh my God, you be on. Yes, I enjoyed this. I should have got on earlier, but yeah, go ahead and get you something to eat. I'll catch you. You know. Thanks for bringing me up.
Anytime, anytime.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Y'all
Love you,
do.
sister. Okay.
Love you too.
Okay.
Bye. All right, y'all. Look, we gotta go. All right. We do. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta get up out of here, y'all. So look, I enjoyed everybody. The gossip was amazing. I missed y'all in a few days. I wasn't gossiping. Ooh, it's hard to hold my mouth shut that long. But I'm back. I'm here. All right. So look, I'm finna eat. Definitely gonna get a daiquiri after sitting through that interview with Miss Kenya Moore and Carlos King. I need one. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all have it for the rest of the evening unless something real exciting goes down. Y'all probably won't hear from me again until tomorrow, but y'all have a great night. As always, please hit the like button on the way out if you did not hit it on the way in. Make sure you click your notification bell and hit all so you'll know every time we go live over here on this good porch. Make sure also that you subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed, because we'd be happy to have you. I promise we will. And if you want to join channel membership, throw that crown by your name. Let us celebrate your birthdays and take part in our events and all that good stuff. The join button is beneath the video, and there's a membership link in the description box of this video. So look, I'm gonna let y'all get back to your evening. It's been great this Tuesday hanging out with you guys. I appreciate you. And remember, if nobody else says it to you, God loves you, I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye now.